merciless. All right, hello everyone. hello. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's here for Wood and Potatoes 2 people. In fact, I could actually post something over there on WP2 for people. It is currently Thursday, later in January now. It's Thursday since the bonus stream I guess we did on Tuesday. Did I do a bonus stream on Tuesday? I can't really remember. I think I might have. But I'm here again. I'm fatigued as hell. But major milestone was hit with the competition judging today, which has left me at a very, I'm not going to go into details, but at a very scary precipice. Let me put it that way. That I'm just a bit mentally fatigued of at the moment. So final decisions will be made very soon, but I want to break from it for now. But I also want to feel productive. I don't want to just go back in and play Stellaris and piss the rest of the day away. So I figure, why not let's do a cheeky stream? And as it's a bonus stream and there's no expectations, I figure we could I could maybe share a little bit of my PvP enthusiasm with you all here, as I've been talking about a little bit over the past couple of streams. It won't purely be that, obviously, but yeah, also I just had an amazing idea. All right, if you look at closely at the title, very closely, now it's an extremely complicated deep thoughts title that I've got going on there, but if you look very closely at the title, you'll see how it's called a side of potatoes. I'm thinking, wait for it, that could be what the bonus streams are called. Yeah, I mean, that's good, I think, really, right? So yeah, that might be how I call bonus streams, since they're becoming a little bit more of a thing lately. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Very funnily, I'm about to unlist a fairly old VOD on Wood and Potatoes 2 right now that's called Competition Judging is Hard. And that's from, well, actually, I don't know what the date is. That timestamp's wrong, so it says that it's 21st of January, but it's much older than that, so I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna unlist those. So yeah, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna be playing on that account I made right around Christmas that has nothing except Path of Fire and a tiny bit of PvP progression. Do you remember that one? And we will do our Season 10 placements. I'm going to treat this as sort of a noob stream for you all. Actually, let's rename the stream. Let's call it... I'm going to call this a PvP noob guide. Because I really feel like what is going on a lot at PvP is most of, and it is no insult meant to any of them, but most of the established people on the scene for PvP, obviously they've been established for a while, so they don't give a fuck about teaching people, like, expressly targeted features for new people. They'll answer questions, obviously, whenever they're asking chat, hey, can you teach me this? Hey, can you teach me that? But nobody's doing, like, proper targeted stuff for new people. So, this will be a little bit like the last time we played. In that I'll sort of tell you guys a little bit about the game, and I'll tell you what's going on and why, and hopefully we should have some fun with it. Now, I don't even know whether my placement's unlocked right now on this account, so that will be the first thing that we discover together, and we will go from there. Also, yes, I did do the Merciless intro. I've got to find more reasons to get it in there. Look, Waldir's here in chat. I want more reasons to use it, dude. So look, check it out. Here we go. We're gonna use it again. Oh, Broiled Quaggan says, I will leave if this is PvP. Grr, angry. Please tell me that's a joke. Please tell me that's a joke. That proper bums me out if that's not a joke. That's got to be a joke, right? Please? Lily, by the way, decisions were made related to your... I shouldn't talk about the competition, but your competition entry... I gotta say, I like, I really like the idea. It disappoints me that no one in your comments section realizes what your entry was. Nobody seems to have cottoned on. Which I think is actually favorable to you, actually, in some slight ways. But anyway, so yeah. Benji says he always demands you to stream specific things. Oh, really? Wait, no, he was joking. You meme. Oh, look, we're getting a bit of a community going here now. Look, we're getting a bit of people recognise one another in chat and what they regularly say and act like in chat. Ooh. Ooh, let's see. Regen sucks dick. The scaling on regen, if fucking bad, says Dusty. I actually read that as Reagan for a second there, which is very strange for me to think. There you go. All right, so anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. I've, as usual, put no effort into making people aware that this is going on. So hopefully it will just sort of snowball up on its own. I will tell people in the Spud Discord, though, because, hey, what else is it there for if not random chat? Yeah, Royal just realised that I'm there. I'm begging them. I said, low viewers, ... They should come. It'll be great, guys. It'll be great. Yeah, so a little story on the main side of things for me. On main NA, I'm like well low on the leaderboard now. I had massive, major losing streak. It was really lame, and that's all it takes. One day of bad games, and you're out. So yeah, I haven't really been playing much Guild Wars since the other stream. Mostly I've been playing Stellaris. Mostly I've been watching the cool new Apocalypse trailer that came out and reading a couple of the new dev diaries that are over there on that game. I've been playing as one of the preset robot races. So if you guys don't know, I'm just going to ramble about this for a second, okay? Because I know you'll all be super interested. Right, what you have to imagine, okay, is an ocean planet. So you might actually say Earth is an ocean planet, but really, by Stellaris' standards, Earth would be a continental planet, I think. So imagine an ocean planet. It's mostly, it might have a couple of stray islands, but it's mostly all liquid water. A biosphere develops there. Life develops there, intelligent life develops there, but it's all underwater intelligent life, okay? So, you know, think like dolphins plus. So these guys create their cities. They're called the Tenids, I think. The Tenids. You know, they're swimming around, they're doing their thing. They start even communicating with one another. Agriculture's developed. They begin the pursuit of science. And eventually they escape their oceans of their worlds, and they take to the skies. They take even further than the skies. They achieve space travel. After a little while of having space travel and exploring their solar system, they finally unlock the secret of faster than light travel, which in my campaign is hyperdrives, for what it's worth, because that's what 2.0 is going to do. So you got these like aquatic guys that develop FTL travel. But here's the thing. These guys also build robots, right? And computers and, you know, whatnot, which that become so powerful and so capable and so intelligent. They essentially have a robot uprising on their own hands, have a massive war against their own robots, lose to their own robots, who like merge with them and make them all cybernetics. So it's all set on this ocean planet, but it's like this by the time the game begins, the race is this merged race of robots that essentially usurped their creators and, you know, consumed them and turned them all into, like, one giant part of the network. Now, with faster-than-light travel just developed, and with the original race of underwater guys, the I can't remember what they're called. I've been playing so much of them. Anyway, the robots are called the Holomogs, right? And so now, with FTL travel, and if they've just absorbed, like, their creators, it's occurred to them that there could be other races out there amongst the stars. And we, as robots, we're basically evil. This is who I'm playing as, right? This is the history of who I'm playing as in this campaign. We're basically evil, and it's dawned on us that there might be other, you know, biological creatures out there, and we want to assimilate them all. We want to get them all as a part of us, and just we want them gone. We want the whole universe to be us, the Holomogs. So we hit up our FTL drives. We go into the hyperlanes, and my Stellaris campaign begins. So I'm basically playing as evil robots that seek to take over the galaxy. And amazingly, I've met many other empires that are also robots near me. I've managed to fend off and win my first war, and I've just destroyed my neighbors. That's about where my campaign is right now. And this race, actually, I failed like 5 campaigns. I lost my first war like 5 times in a row until on the 6th campaign I'm finally doing well enough. It's really difficult to play this kind of I was going to say class there, but it's not really a class. It's difficult to play this style of hive mind because they cost a lot of energy. So yeah, anyway, that's my Stellaris campaign. That's how that's going. And I was just telling you that to kill time as my client loaded up and we could get into some Guild Wars. So yeah. Have I heard about the regen plus confusion change coming next balance patch? No, I haven't. Quaggan says it's a joke. Okay, good. Oh my god, I'm pretty far scrolled up then. WP, I'm so happy to see you. I just got home from work and took a shower. I'm about to have dinner. Total Emoji, it's great, man. Are you going to have dinner with me? You're going to come to the PC desk? Come on. It's nothing quite like eating your food near the keyboard. I mean, push it away a little bit, obviously. Lily says, while I made my entry, I purposely used as few of the reasons that were in the original as possible. And I did notice that. I genuinely think it's inspired. It was one of the... It's an ongoing process, actually. I've not fully determined where you will place. But it's a difficult one to judge because it's too personal. It's too close. It's like I feel like I'm not qualified to do it. But that happens constantly with this. So anyway. Did you read all of the Night of Fire's POF? Did I read all of the bonus shots? I did when it first came out. I can't really remember what it said anymore, though. Red Terrell, sorry. 5 months, Tato Daddy. Don't play much Guild Wars 2 or watch your stream much, but I'll still support you because you're awesome. Thanks very much, man. I'm sure there's actually quite a few people in your position, and I would not be getting by without people like you in your position, so all I can say is thank you so much, and I hope that you find it in yourselves to have a little bit more of a look at the game, maybe when episode 2 comes out. That's how it always is with Guild Wars, we all know it. What's more interesting, watching a potato rolling down a driveway or watching a PvP stream? Wow. Also, why did you just mention the comp to me? You just made me super nervous. Stress. Well, because I've been doing a lot on the competition today. As I said to early viewers of the stream just a second ago, I've hit a big moment with it, which means it will be done very, very soon. Elrond says, I'm playing Stellaris. Cool, dude. Yeah, I'm essentially the Borg. Yeah, I am essentially the Borg. That's a good comparison for any Trekkies out there. I'm playing a variant of the Borg, basically. And it's not just because of the word assimilate being used. No, I'm not actually dolphins. It sounds a lot like the Cybermen in Doctor Who, for sure. And the nice thing is there's these custodians near me who are also robots, but their view of everything is sort of to just serve all everyone as they possibly can. It's great. Okay, I'm leaving, but it's because of PvP. No, calm down, WP, I promise. It's because my stomach is screaming for food. Oh, I don't know about this, Elodus. I don't know about this. I don't know. They don't basically confirm Devon as the Herald, but I am aware of the theory, yeah. Oh, Broad says, I wish I could subscribe again. Yeah, you're not actually subbed, dudes. So what happened there? Hey, Rav, it's good to see you at a bonus stream, man. Mods very rarely make it to bonus streams. I hope you're doing good, dude. Rav, by the way, I've been very, very, very distant from all the stuff in Discord at the moment. We will set up the proper Twitch section and figure out Twitch funds and all that stuff. We will do that, I promise. PvP stream PogChamp. Look, we had a PogChamp to counterbalance Broil's resident sleeper there. No, please be excited. It'll be good. Yeah, I usually chat about random stuff at the start of streams. Teach me the ways of PvP, says Guck to stream. You had to cancel Amazon Prime because of money issues. Oh, dude, that sucks. Sorry, that's dragging it down now for you a little bit, isn't it? Probably thinking about that here. But yeah. Sorry, the main reason I did that kind of video is because of the huge demand for it in the comments. I thought I'd try it. I will say one thing. Now that I'm getting closer and closer to the end, I'll open up a little bit. I think the community missed opportunity big time on a lot of types of video that could have been amazing and would have scored really highly on the competition. But most people... I don't know, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot watching this and judging this and seeing how it all goes. Dude, don't worry about it. I've been very dedicated to school these days. What a stupid thing to dedicate to. That won't get you anywhere. Oh, maybe it will. Alright, dude, no, that's fair. Every time I look at Discord, I get more and more disturbed. Discord's a magical and wonderful place. It is indeed. Wootkex is right. Alright, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a Mirage, because I don't have one. So, last time we did this, I showed you the 3 builds I've been playing at that time. One was a ranged condition damage off-point nuke. Extremely powerful. According to the opinions of some fairly experienced PvPers at the moment, probably the most OP thing that's in the game. I would agree that this is the most OP thing in the game right now, but it's balanced by this, which is the second most OP thing in the game. They are extremely strong. I think their strength is overstated, specifically for leaguing, but we'll come to that later. I also showed you a melee flat damage burst character, and I showed you a support character. So again, ranged Condi, ranged attrition Condi, and a huge like off-point nuke. a melee nuke that does flat damage, a support. Today, what we're going to be watching is a skirmisher, which the Hollow-Smith is kind of like a skirmisher. I never showed you the rocket boots variant, but this is essentially a skirmisher if it's running rocket boots. These two classes here are extremely immobile. Now, you might be like, but wooden potatoes, they have swiftness. Oh my god, how can you say they're immobile? They are immobile. Swiftness doesn't mean mobile, all right? It's all relative to the rest of the scene. And the rest of the scene has much faster builds. Generally speaking, the faster you are, the weaker you can be in your 1v1s and matchups. But it's okay because you can escape, not die, and, you know, find opportunities elsewhere and make opportunities elsewhere. That's kind of the idea of a skirmisher, okay? Not necessarily a powerhouse for the team fights, but has minor contributions everywhere on the map and can just make sure they're always at the right place. Skirmishers are really fun. Really, really, really fun. And I'm going to show you, so like the standard go-to for a long time, I would say, as like a +1E skirmishy role would be DP Thief, which is a dagger pistol thief that just moves very quickly around the map, gets in, gets out. I'll explain the philosophy behind all of that stuff on this stream, which is stuff I never really talked about before. And yeah, I want to show you guys a little bit of what it's like to queue. I'm not going to be on a thief, though. I'm going to be on a Mesmer. Because funnily enough, as classically speaking, immobile as Mesmers have been, let's ignore the existence of Portal for a second. The Path of Fire expansion, which just came out, has introduced to the game an extremely mobile spec. One of the most mobile things I've ever played, and certainly if you remove Thief from the running, the most mobile thing I've ever played. And that is a Mirage. So that's what we're going to be playing. You guys can choose the race and how this thing looks. So what do you want? Don't even need a code. Just the first person to pick a race. First person in chat. Pick a race and we'll go with that. Also, I'll give you guys the audio. And let's see what we got going on here. It says I'm in the default device, which I'm guessing is this. Nope. I'm guessing is this then. There we go. Alright, you guys hear the game, yeah? It's all good? Alright, let's see here. Oh, Dossie's in chat, so he's just going to get them all, isn't he? Oh, no. Broad Quaggan, will you ever start a YouTube channel? Dudes, you're not funny. You're mean. You're gonna make me cry. What is it? You know all my insecurities, and you're laying them out on the table. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna cut the stream off here. I'm gonna go cry now. I'll see you later. It's over. Turret NG is where it's at, says Ryan Mill 87. Is it? Is it really? I see. So we got some real pro play comments going on in chat right there. Maybe I'll show you some Turret NG as well. Why don't you just play Thief? I actually think, well, I don't know. I haven't. Yeah, I do. I think Condi Mirage is better than Thief for this role at the moment. Most thieves are forced to run SD in the current meta. After one of the big nerfs to the snake dodge, what was that, around season 8, I think? Something like that. Yeah, Mirage is extremely quick. It's extremely quick. I'll show you guys how quick it is. It's very, very cool. And I actually think in a lot of ways it's a good thing to play as a new player because you really don't have to be good at the game. As long as you know a couple of fundamental facts that most newbies don't know, and I'll show you, you know, like, as I say, in a perfect world where there's mass population in Guild Wars 2, I believe I'm genuinely like a Gold 2 player. I think a lot of players I see, a lot of people I watch and listen to, I think rate themselves way higher than they actually are. And maybe even I'm doing that too, but I think I'm probably like Gold 1, Gold 2, if there was a huge population. The fact is, there's not a huge population, so you can be at the top of the leaderboard in mid-plat at the moment, and you can get to mid-plat pretty easily as well. But anyway, we'll maybe discuss that kind of stuff later. Let's not get too off topic. Right, what was it that people voted on? Yeah, Dosty said human, okay? Alright, so, second fastest finger first, human or female? There's no code, just tell me. Second fastest finger first. Would you watch my videos if I had a YouTube channel? Come on, man. Come on. This is brutal. Oh, I have jokes. Why didn't Morgemoth get any chairs or sofas for his new apartment? Because dragons stand. Oh, God. Hey, WP, any advice for someone who wants to start streaming Guild Wars YouTube Guild Wars 2, I kind of feel like everything's been done already. There is, I mean, the competition revealed someone to me that actually hit the ground running explosively. Gets like thousands of views. Only just started doing it, and they're doing really well. I don't know. I think if you can get away with doing a face cam, that can be really important. I think there are a lot of avenues out there that are still untapped. I don't know. There's probably a whole different discussion I really don't want to get too much into right now. But I will say, as someone who's sitting where I'm sitting, I really do believe there's a lot of space to get into the Guild Wars scene. There's a lot of space. I think the viewers are there. You just got to have a bit of quality to you. I really do believe that. All right, scrolling. Second was, so Dosty came in first and said male, then Royal came in second and said female. So we're going to play a lady, we're going to be at a Mirage. Tall or small, second fastest finger. Oh, did I have a donation, did I? Oh, all the stuff's going on here. I shouldn't have wasted all that time talking about Stellaris. Oh my god, Lily. Oh, I should have guessed it would be you, because you told me. You bet. What? £20? Why? You haven't just done that because I just mentioned the competition, have you? I'm telling you now that it's not helping your cause at all. Since I missed a couple of streams, take some extra muns. Oh, thank you so much, though. Honestly, that really means a lot. Thank you very much. Jeff Shaver subbed as well. Said 2 months and yes, PvP. We will get to it, dude. That's really cool and welcome as well. And then we had Red Terror as well. We already read out. But thank you very much, Lily. Wow. I hope you missing a few wasn't for any, serious reasons. Rename it to Dosty Plays Guild Wars on WP's Twitch. Do dungeons still give bad rewards? No. If you're very good at dungeons, and especially if you can 2-3 split, you can earn insane money. You can earn really good money on dungeons. It's one of those examples of the Guild Wars 2 community not actually knowing what it's talking about, but it's fun to circle jerk on a single thing. It was bad when they got nerfed at Heart of Thorns. Then they reinstated a lot of the loot after that, but nobody cared at that point because, hey, it was more fun to whinge than actually play the game. Dungeons are actually okay, but you have to be good at them. It's not quite the same as it was before, but if you are good, they are good cash. And it's good cash for 5 people instead of 10, which you'd need for raiding, I guess. I mean, the actual comparison would be Dungeons versus Fractals, of which I'm less certain. But since Fractal 40 was nerfed, that was actually probably a bit of a sly, big bump up for the cause of dungeons, actually. I don't know. I reckon if you really sat down and number crunched it and figured out, probably it would be, dungeons would be much more worthwhile than 8 out of 10 people realize. All right, so small from FKA. Also, how do we want to look, by the way? Wait, what? Why can't I customize her appearance? Oh, yeah, we can. Black or white? I guess we'll do... Oh, wait, hold on. Should we just do the full spectrum of ethnicities? What can we do? I mean, you can't really vote. There's too many skin color shades. Why is the world more complicated than simply black or white? What's going on here? What's going on? This isn't easy. This isn't easy. Come on, though. Seriously, black or white. We'll go black or white, and then we'll go... And then we'll go lighter or darker after that. And then we'll do face shape or something. Darkest black possible, 23. I didn't even say 23, but fine. Broiled Quaggan gets it. I'm guessing it's this one, dark 5. I'm going just purely by the numbers there. But that seems correct. All right. And this lady looks surprised. She looks mildly intrigued, which I quite enjoy. All right. We're going to make her sad again. Ferocious. All right. This obviously, none of this is important. So, we'll call it... Yeah, we'll call it Skirmishing Mirage. And we'll go in. We're not going to watch the cutscene. This isn't Merciless. We get enough of those cutscenes already because of Merciless. So we can just skip by. This is a PvP stream. And it really is this easy to make a character. Just need to make sure. Now, my binds were all terrible last time, but I think they're good this time, so I think we're all right. My FOV is in a bit, though, so I'm going to max that. My horizontal position far, I'm going to max out as well. And I think, hopefully, that should be good. That should be everything's all right. You should have named it Illusory for maximum confusion. Yeah, but I'm not one... You know when people call one another tryhards, yeah? I'm not really the kind of guy that cares about that. I think if you call someone a tryhard, it says more about you than the person, right? It sort of says that you're salty. Like, it's not actually an insult. If someone's trying their hardest, well, good luck to them. Well done, they'll go places. Do you know what I mean? Like, but despite that, if I ever do think, oh, someone's a tryhard, it's when I see people naming themselves as pets or duo queuing mesmers with, you know, garbled names. Like, their character names are this, and they both look identical. And, you know, the only difference is that third H is actually a G instead or something. I always think that's tryharding to me. Maybe I should be consistent. Maybe I shouldn't be so willing to just accept my cognitive dissonance there. And I should just accept that, hey, maybe, you know, fair play to them. But I always sort of sneer on it a bit, I must be honest. Why can't we call her Dosty's Choice? Dosty's Choice sounds like a movie. But I'm probably just thinking that because of the movie Sophie's Choice. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is the only PvE we're sort of being forced to do. There was, for a very long time, a way to bypass this. There might even be a contemporary one, I just don't know it. But if you partied with someone super early, like I can grab this guy and send him a party invite. If you party invite with someone, and then they joined a hot join, obviously not someone who was in here, but out in the real world, you could party with them, they could join a hot join, and then you could right-click and join them as a friend, and you'd skip through. But they removed that. The only top 50 Dosty will ever make is for being a tryhard. Oh, I don't know, the antagonism here. Rav says it's a bit cheesy at best. In the end, you're still going to get wrecked if you suck. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it did used to be worse before standard enemy models, right? Like, I remember playing against Mesmers that would just do all max... I might have even done this as a joke at one point. But do all max size Norn, right? And you just spam the phantasms and clones out. They just look the worst. But you can cull all of that away. As I described on the previous stream, there's a setting in the game, and I recommend if anybody wants to be competitive to try that. Just this here, standard enemy models enabled. What it means is instead of you seeing the dies and the armor and the size and all the specifics about how your enemies have chosen Fashion Wars 2-wise, they will just look like the same enemy all the time. They'll always look like a generic soldier, for example, like this. And what that means, and you might think, oh, that's really boring, but in combat, which is the only time you're going to see your enemies, you can't really look at the specifics of like, oh, look how pretty that gold band is. You can't really do that anyway. And what it means is when it's always consistent forevermore, you can learn the dodge timings and the animations a lot better. And you can be a lot more comfortable, so... So yeah, I would recommend people turn it on. There's a further option as well, for what it's worth, to turn off even your allies as well, for everyone. But I think you lose a lot from the flavor of the game there. It does help you know for sure that your allies aren't going to mess you up with having too big animations or too small this or whatever. But, you know, that's splitting hairs. As a streamer, I would never turn that off. One of the most fun things about a PvP stream, I think, if they're good at streaming PvP, if they're an entertainer. Not everybody who streams is an entertainer, that's the thing. But if you're trying to be an entertainer and you're streaming PvP, looking at the fashion and the outfits of everyone around you is a nice little thing for people to, you know, get out of it. Do you get what I mean? You picked edgy skins that looked cool, but no one repped Skybringer was your favorite. Skybringer's edgy? Is it really? Yeah, if you're playing full Trap Dragon Hunter, you're not a tryhard. I would suggest you're hardly trying at all. You're just having a bit of fun. Standard enemy models is a must, but my god, did they make them too generic and ugly. I mean, do you really have a strong opinion about that, Mortalius? Like, I really don't get how you could have a strong opinion about that, because it's just... If you're playing at the level where you're like, oh, that char looked really pretty as he smashes your face in. I mean, I don't know what else to say, really. It'd be nice if maybe in hot joins, standard... Well, that's true, isn't it? Standard animal models only works in rated games. In hot joins, it's not even a thing, is it? Or when it was initially implemented, I believe that was the way it worked. Maybe they changed it again later, but...
Not dead yet. Brace yourselves. I think it's gonna explode.
Hearthstone reference? Sorry, what Hearthstone reference was that? Alright. So, we've, if you remember, on the previous stream, we got to this point and then we had to walk to Lion's Arch. We're only level 2 right now, but then we had to walk to Lion's Arch to get in. That's not true anymore. It's unlocked this icon up here. Can you see this? And we just click the icon. This fucking spits in the face of what World vs. World should be, in my opinion. World vs. World only locked to level 31. Well, anyway, we won't rant about World vs. World. So, we just click that icon, and then you click enter the lobby, and you go. The latest sub message. Oh, God, I'm scared now. Justice demands retribution scenario. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. All right, so here we go. Thank you very much for the resub there. So, like I said, this is a skirmishing build. As I said on the previous stream, if you're looking to get into PvP, you can get pretty much any build that's actually worth something on Meta Battle. There are builds that exist on the fringes of it, but as a new player, just please be a decent human being and accept you might not be an expert. Do you know what I mean? Just accept that you might not be an expert and use one of their builds first and tweak it as you see fit after you've got a handle for it. But run something that's community vetted to get you started off with, because it's going to save you from a lot of unnecessary frustration. And some of it's just like unwarranted as well. You know, I had a ranked match the other day where I had a Revenant on my team, and he was a Hammer Revenant. And he was god-awful. He was a terrible player. Now, I didn't say anything. I've been getting a little bit salty as the losing sprees have been coming in. I didn't say anything to him, but he was terrible. But the amount of rage and hate this dude got just because he was so easily identifiable as terrible because he was a Hammer Revenant, you know, running Zerk or whatever the shit he was. It was insane. Like, he really got bashed. Like, really rudely, really aggressively, really meanly attacked. Because in PvP, most of the people left in PvP are salty, antisocial dickheads. All right, that's just the only way you can describe them. And so if you're running the wrong builds or builds that people don't recognize, you will be jumped on hard. And some of you might think, yeah, I'm strong in mind, I can deal with that, and you can obviously turn your chat off. But depending on how long you want to be PvPing for, it probably will start weighing on you in the end. For what it's worth, and we lost that game, obviously, with the Hammer Rev. But then, I mean, I always kind of look on the bright side. Yeah, you get... People are always like, oh, thank you on weekends. It's so bad on weekends. But what they don't realize is if you're getting bad allies, you're getting bad enemies. I actually quite like queuing on weekends because, yeah, I had that Rev on my team. One game. The next 2 games in a row, he was against me, and we slaughtered them because I knew I could just bully that Rev and basically make it a 4v5, where my team was getting free 5 points every now and then, where I kept mercilessly slaying him. So, like, you know, it balances out. It's PvP. It's not, you know, this isn't some static raid where the quality of players drops on the weekends, so there's a reason to be pissed off about it. There's more advantages you can take on weekends. When player skill drops down, you can take advantage of that stuff. So, pretty interesting situation here. On NA, it's very rare to see someone legendary. On EU, we immediately see someone legendary. I don't even think anyone is legendary on NA yet. Wait, hold on, what? Oh, that means he was legendary last season? I thought legendary was 1.8. Or is it 1.7? I guess it's 1.7 then. I thought... Well, anyway... Yeah, I guess it's 1.7. That means all these guys are legendary already. All the way, the top 30 are legendary. I'm quite excited to queue on EU again. All right, so, anyway, we've got to play a little bit more before we can queue, actually. I might not even be able to do my placements because what rating? Oh, no, we need rank 20 and we're 15 already. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so back to the build. Meta Battle is a great place to find these things. Moving on, I'll just grab my one thing there. So I know this by memory, this Mirage skirmishing build, and like I said, it's an extremely fast build. So first we'll get our weapons, shall we? I'm going to go over to this waypoint here. You'll notice they're all immediately unlocked. We don't have to fly around on a griffin that we haven't unlocked yet or do anything like that. The game will give this stuff to us immediately off the bat. And we'll go to a couple of vendors to pick up our appropriate gear. Some classes, some builds, some playstyles, you might want a lot of weapons ready to just swap based on what your enemies are running. For this Mesmer build, I really don't think there's any reason to ever swap to anything else. You're going to be running... Well, no, that's a lie. You're going to be running... The one I want to play here is Sword, Torch, okay, and Staff in the offset. There is a very successful Axe variant, and there's even a variant that runs Sword offhand. It's like Axe... it's like Axe, Sword, and then Axe, Torch. It's something like that. But I've not played those variants. I actually think they're weaker. They're the slower variants. Don't be wanting that. I want to get carried by absurd mobility. That's what I want. This is how we're going to play. You know, we're going to do a 3-hour stream and have 0 deaths and so on. That's obviously a bit of an exaggeration there. I'm not actually going to play that well because I'm streaming. But under normal environments, that's the kind of thing this build can pull off just because it's fast. Like, for example, in Guild Wars 2, if you're ever wondering, oh, should I take an Invuln or should I take a Blink of some kind? Or nearly always just go the Blink. The Blink is an Invuln if you use it to move yourself 1200 range away. In most scenarios, there's obviously hedge scenarios, but mobility is worth so much. Just being able to walk out of range of people, you're basically invulnerable, right? So you got to understand these things. Anyway, so those are the weapons we're going to run. And why we're running these weapons really won't be clear for a while. I actually, in a lot of ways, hate this build. I do not believe that this... I don't believe Sword Main Hand should exist as a Condi variant in any way. But it does because of one of the trait setups, which we'll look at in a second. But so those are our weapons. And so if you remember from the previous stream, when you're PvPing, you get this beautiful panel here called the PvP build panel. And this will give you all of your stats as if you're level 80 and you've got top tier gear. Everyone is always on a level playing field. Even though I'm level 3, the Guild Wars 2 doesn't care. It's a game that strives to be competitive. I actually think it's folly to judge this as an MMO. It's held back because it's an MMO with PvE component and world versus world component that puts constraints on budgeting and balance decisions. But beyond that, you know, it really does try to be its own thing competitively. So let's have a look here. What we're going to run is, first of all, we are going to run a condition damage amulet. This is a Condi build. It's not like many other Condi builds in the game, though. It's not very fire and forget, just throw all your stuff everywhere and hope some of it lands. It's actually quite precise. And I know a lot of people will think, no, it's just a cancerous bomb Condi build. But I actually don't think they know what they're talking about. It is extremely powerful. This is an overpowered build, by the way. All I'm showing you are overpowered builds at the moment. Because, you know, that's an easy way to get into PvP, to play the overpowered stuff, obviously. But this is not the same as a Scourge that just rolls their fingers across the keyboard, or a Grenade Kit NG that, you know, was a very popular Condi variant for a while, that just, you know, ground targets NGs, grenades on an area. There is a little bit more finesse to this. There genuinely is, and fighting against it, it won't feel like that's happening, but there is, I believe. So anyway, it's a Condi build, and we're going to be running... It's a Condi build that actually has a lot in common with power play styles in how it unloads its damage. It just feels cancerous because damage over times feel worse than getting, you know, just raw chunks of damage. Outside of the horizon of, you know, just being globaled. But hey. Alright, so anyway, we got the carrying amulet. So what this is going to do is give us a ton of Condi damage. It's going to give us some power as well, which I don't care too much about, but obviously everything we strike with can now be buffed because of the power. But then it also gives us vitality. So we're going to be on 24,000 health. And I'm pretty sure that's what I run. I'm pretty sure I run Carrion. Or is it Deadshot? Was I running Deadshot? I might be running Deadshot. It might be Deadshot that I run. I actually can't remember. I know that Wizard is actually viable as well, by the way. Wizard is up here, and I love the name of Wizard. Wizard is like this, but it gives us some precision in exchange for... and power as well, in exchange for the health. Could I say Deadshot one more time? Deadshot? Use Fiery Dragon. PvP doesn't mean you should abandon Fashion Wars. Well, I will do it. I will do it. Suddenly you feel bad... Suddenly I feel I'm so bad at PvP. Really? Why? Why do you feel that? Yeah, so Mort is trying to explain in chat why this build's so strong, and I will show you guys why this build is so strong. But yeah, okay, so we'll just go with this amulet for now. I'm pretty sure that's what I was running. Next, we're gonna pick our runes, and again, this is another big bump of it. Selecting your rune is a lot like selecting your amulet, except that in addition to giving you stats, it can also give you straight up perks. So, actually, do you know what? I'll do rune later because to explain the rune would be better after you understand a bit of how Mirage works. So then we'll just pick our sigils here. So I am gonna run Doom on the sword. I am gonna run that. I really like that. Over here, I'm going to run... Not exposure. I actually, you know, I can't remember a lot of what I'm running on sigils and things for this build. For how much I've been playing it. Oh, no, I can remember. So over here on staff, this is the way... There's lots of options for sigils. Sigils are actually a lot more balanced since they did their overhaul. And I'd love them to keep doing stuff like that, like with the runes as well. And sigils could use another tune as well, in my opinion. Still, a lot of them are useless. But the sigils are generally okay. The way I like to run is... I like my staff to be a big boon rippy kit, okay? And it's mostly just for fighting against warriors. So to understand all of that and warriors applying resistance to themselves and stuff is kind of in the deep end of the pool. So we don't have to worry about that too much right now. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a sigil that means if I hit someone when I have a staff, I remove a boon. And also I'm going to run one that means when I swap to the staff... The first hit I do, and only the first hit, this one comes back every 10 seconds, but I'm going to run the Sigil of Annulment as well. So the first hit I do when I swap to the staff will remove 2 boons. So, in total, what this means is, if I'll go to a golem to demonstrate this to you, I'm going to run over to a target, let's say a warrior. The warrior, this is purely for warriors that I do this, right? And you can swap depending on if there's not any that you're against, obviously. You know, let's say I've loaded this guy up with condies. I won't be loading him with condies. I'll show you the rotations and stuff later. But let's say he's about to die, but he's just popped his last source of resistance. What I can do is very quickly swap weapons. And my first hit after I've swapped weapons will strip 3 boons from him straight away. And with any luck, one of those will be resist. Or he won't have 3 in total. And then he'll die straight away. So that's why I do that. And Staff's nice for this as well because you can proc a tick of damage on the Chaos Storm or any of your shatters. So quite often what you do is you don't wait for the auto. You just weapon swap Mind Rack and then that's what kills them. Because the Mind Rack applies the flat tick of damage that pops both the sigils and kills them. But yeah, if you're not running, if you're not facing against warriors, then that's fine. This just creates a little bit more opportunity with you against those, all right? And then I guess on this one, I'll tell you what I was running, actually. I'll tell you what I was running. And this isn't actually meta at all, but I was playing with it when I was last doing it. I was running a Sigil of Confusion, which is 20% more confusion duration when I'm on this weapon set. And again, that's not actually what most people recommend. It's not terrible. It's not great either, as far as I can tell right now, but that's what I'm running. So we'll stick with that. So that's gear. I'll come back to the runes later. Let's actually talk about how this build works, shall we? So it's a Path of Fire build. As all of the builds I've shown you have been. Hold on, we'll be as visual as possible. Hollowsmith, Path of Fire Engineer specialization. Firebrand, Path of Fire Guardian specialization. Scourge, Path of Fire Necromancer specialization. And now here, I'm going to be showing you the Mirage. That doesn't mean the other specs aren't seeing play. If you remember last time I talked about PvP to you guys, I mentioned you shouldn't just bucket builds as viable or unviable. I think anyone who does that at the moment is a bit of a moron and they do a disservice to the state of PvP. It's not a case of viable or unviable. It's a case of how high they will climb, all right? So, I've seen chronos comfortably in the plat range, all right? I have seen them. There's a power chrono build. There's even a Condi chrono that I'm still seeing some people run, all right? So that's a Heart of Thorns thing. I've seen Reapers running around. Now, I don't really know how comfortably that they're sitting in plat, but certainly Reapers can climb into gold very comfortably. I've seen Dragon Hunters everywhere. In fact, of all of these, Dragon Hunter is actually really not bad. And, I mean, Guardian is in such a good place, guys, because Core Guardian is super common to see as well. There's a Hammer variant at the moment. Like, Guardian has all 3 covered. Guardians are out there, Firebrands are out there, Dragon Hunters are out there. They're all extremely powerful, and depending on what your comp needs, you can swap around them. Great time to be a Guardian player if you're a PvPer. Lots of opportunity. Scrapper is hurting a bit, I will say. Probably of all of these, Scrapper's hurting. But it's still around. And there's even kind of a core NG build that some people have been trying. Which, again, you know, you can easily go silver gold with. So anyway, I just wanted to head that off. I haven't even looked at chat, but I can already tell there's some smug, self-assured dimwit in chat thinking, yeah, see, they're all Path of Fire builds. That means it's all overpowered. Well, you can keep quiet because you're wrong. All right, well, no, they are. They are overpowered, and they are the better of the selections. But that doesn't mean the Heart of Thorns is completely invalidated. Okay, we have the graphic bug again. That's great. So I'm not too sure about that, but we will see. Scrapper's most disappointing because it's built into PvP spec and now at 0 place. Yeah, I mean, I think a Scrapper buff is due. I would love to see one this balance patch coming up. And what I'd love to see it interact with more than anything is the function gyro, just to keep that purity of place there. I think that would be good. Yeah, Firebrand is better, but you only need one, right? A Firebrand, for again, because this is the point, guys. There are different roles. This is a skirmisher, okay? So, if you load up on too many skirmishers, if you run 5 DP thieves, they're not going to be able to do anything because skirmishers only can really make plays when engagements are already standing, and they don't do that. Okay, so you can't run with 5 of those. Firebrands are excellent supports, but nothing will die. They won't be able to get a foothold anywhere. They won't be able to do anything. I mean, there is kind of an interesting idea of just keeping everything new all game and then winning based on boss or something, but the point is you can't actually have a real competitive team that's pure supports. Also, even with 5 Firebrands, Power Burst will still spike these guys down and they will still lose. If we're talking actually tournament level, good play level, so that, you know, it's not competitive. So they're different roles, right? So once you've got one Firebrand, it may be the most OP of the bunch, but you only need one. And then, yeah, there's space to bring a Dragon Hunter after that. And yeah, there's space and reason to bring Core Guardians if they're particularly good at countering the matchups they're against. Like, Core Guardian's great against this build I'm showing you right now. Those hammer bursts are nasty as shit. What's with 5 Scourges? I mean, if we're actually talking genuinely competitive, 5 Scourges would lose as well, in my opinion. But it's kind of an irrelevant discussion because you can't queue with 5 Scourges. You can in unranked, but then what's going to happen? You're going to farm some bad guys, bad players for a little while, and then be done with it, you know? For your own fun, you can do that. You could queue with 5 of anything for your own fun, but the competitive formats prohibit that kind of gameplay. As soon as you get competitive, you can't even duo queue anymore. What is going on with my client? This is so bad. Speaking of the garbled names... but yeah, okay. Did my client eat shrooms? I think it has been. I think it has been indeed, yeah. We can fix that, so don't worry about it. All right, anyway, back to the build. Let's actually look at our traits now. So I'm going to show you a little bit more of Mirage and why it's strong. We're going to take the elite specialization. Again, we don't have to earn it or anything. We just get it for free. So if you guys don't know how Mirage works, fundamentally, what it's done is it's replaced my dodge rolls. So in Guild Wars 2, you get evade frames. I mean, I'm really teaching you to suck eggs here, aren't I? But so if I press my dodge bind, she does a dodge roll. She's invuln, she moves a little. Mirage doesn't move anymore when it dodges. It still gets the evade frames. We're still invulnerable as if it was a normal dodge. But instead, what we get is called a Mirage Cloak. And what this does is it makes us, in theory, with the clone aspects of this gameplay, it should make us a bit more deceptive or whatever amongst our clones and whatnot. But similar to how when thieves stealth, they gain new abilities on their auto attacks. Same with the Mirage. When we use our Mirage Cloak, this here, for the brief period of time that we look like this, our auto attack changes to a new ability known as an ambush. Just as thieves can ambush in the same way, but they proc it from stealth, we proc ours from our Mirage Cloak when we dodge or when we gain it through any other means we might have. Okay, so every single Mirage ability in the game, weapon in the game, has a new ambush. So this is the regular auto for staff. Our ambush auto is a supercharged one, yeah? Axe has ambushes, which you're going to be using in raids and stuff a lot. The sword ambush is really what is making this shine right now. Now, as I pointed out a second ago, some people run axe here. They don't even run sword. I just have no experience with that. I only have experience killing people on that, so I'm not going to talk about that today. But what we're going to be using is not our sword auto attack, which is this. We're going to be using the Mirage ambush sword auto attack, which is this. Which is this cool leap. Now, when I mouse over here, you'll see that the tooltip at the very bottom, you got Mind Slash, Mind Gash, Mind Spike. Those are our regular attacks. The bottom one is Mirage Thrust. That's the ambush. Now, if you look at that, I told you this is a condition damage build. it does no condi damage. It doesn't have anything on there. All it does is it moves us, does damage, and it dazes. Now, I believe that ArenaNet designed this for power play styles, which during the betas you saw people utilizing it for. You can run like damage on interrupt, for example. And I think they were trying it for that. But through some trait trickery, we can make this auto attack a powerhouse of damage. And I mean a real powerhouse of damage. Beyond that, it interrupts, which is great. So we can interrupt people healing one another. We can interrupt people resurrecting their friends. We can interrupt any kind of key ability you might imagine. But also, on top of all of that as well, it moves us. So, again, I think the devs designed this to be something to, you know, engage. And that's it. We're not going to just use it to engage. We're going to use it to sprint around the map. And, like, kind of our baseline thing as we're running around is going to be that. We proc our Mirage mirror on ourselves, and we use that. And this might not look like much, and it might not feel like much, but when you add something like that on such a low cooldown onto a class that already has Blink and Portal, it becomes something really magical, and so you will see that soon. I like that this is all quite pink, actually. It's very Mirage-y. It's very, very weird. Who's enjoying the psychedelic PvP right now? Oh, I just had a donation. Did I really? Well, everybody... Oh, Uendo, it's good to see you, dude. Reminding everyone to check out the new monster... Oh, sorry. You want me to remind everyone to check out the new Monster Hunter that comes out tomorrow? Je suis monter. Well, there you go. And Derveg, thank you very much, Uendo. I really appreciate it, dude. It's great to see you, man. It really is. And, yeah, I hope you're having fun in Monster Hunter. Does when Monster Hunter come out, does that mean this all ends? You're going to be gone? No more £5 per stream? And Derveg says, WP, hi. It's been a while since I've been able to catch the stream. It's good to see you. Thanks, man. Thanks very much. And it's good to see you too. Yeah, I haven't seen your name around for a while. So anyway, there you go. That's the sword ambush. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the build now and how we make this start doing damage. So let's start with that. What we're going to do is we're going to come up to the top here and we're going to run illusions. Actually, I want illusions in the lowest slot. Okay. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to run dueling. Okay. So let's start with dueling. Many Mirages and Mesmers, sorry, and even PvP Mesmers will be familiar with dueling from the olden days where they used to run deceptive evasion, which is create a clone whenever you dodge, yeah? And at first glance, Mirage seemed like this was perfect combo with deceptive evasion because it's all about clones. But funnily enough, in no format of the game have I really seen deceptive evasion become a thing for Mirages. Which I don't know how we feel about that, but I really haven't seen it anywhere. But dueling, a lot of Mesmers should be familiar with it already. I'm just going to come over here and try and break combat now. But if you don't know, okay, we're getting Vigor whenever we crit someone, and Vigor's nice for our dodges to help us get more ambushes. It's giving us bleeds when our illusions crit, which we don't have to care about too much, but will be some minor perk. We also get Master Fencer, which is Fury. When we hit someone who's starting to get low, which again is kind of nice, but you know, not the entire crux of the build. What is the crux of the build is this Grandmaster here, Ineptitude. Now, as a Guild Wars 1 player, I'm a big fan of Ineptitude, like flavor-wise and stuff. This was an elite skill in the original game, like a supercharged ability that you could run on the illusions line in the previous game. Now it's dueling. But let's see what the Guild Wars 2 version is. What this means is every time we interrupt someone, we blind them. So looking back at our sword ambush, when we interrupt with it, we're putting blind on them, which is kind of nice. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it's kind of cool. But also, if we ever blind anyone now, through any means, we can confuse them too. And we put 2 stacks of confusion on. 2 stacks of confusion isn't that much, but it's all right. So, whenever we ambush and score an interrupt, we blind confuse. I'm not actually sure what the interval of 3 is there. I feel like I didn't realize that had an ICD of 3. No, I think the interval, I'll tell you what, the interval means we can only inflict blind through interrupt once every 3 seconds. I think it's that. But I'm pretty sure all of our blinds will always confuse. Anyway, look, that's the point, okay? So now, if I look back at my skill bar, we're running Torch, okay? So Torch is go invisible, and then a few seconds later... Oh my god, this freaking client bug. A few seconds later, we explode out in burning damage, which is great. So that's like one of our huge bursts, that 3 burning damage and so on. But when we stealth, we blind everyone around us. Well, now because of this trait, we also confuse them. So if we cast this next to someone, we blind confuse, and then when we come back into the real world, we burn them, all right? So you just find there's all these little sources of blind all over the game, all right? And I'll show you some more very soon. So anyway, this is really the big ticket item. There are some other very strong things that we'll look at here, though, too. Next, we're going to take Blinding Dissipation. So this is blind people whenever we shatter. Well, that's cool, because we got 4 shatters. But then, each of those also blinds now. So look at my mind rack already. Just look at that. So now, if we mind rack, instead of this just being pure flat damage, which is what it started as, it did nothing but just flat damage. Now, we mind rack, we blind them, and we confuse them. All right? And because of this line down here as well, illusions, we get even more confusion, which I'll talk about in a second. And then also this, blind and confuse, is dumped on top of the confusion that was already there. Cry of frustration by default is about applying confusion. Now it applies even more. This is blind and confuse. This is blind and confuse. They all blind and confuse, okay? So very good. And then finally here, we're going to take Desperate Decoy. This just means when someone's attacking us, when we get to half health, we insta-stealth, and a clone appears. So the clone is nice because we can shatter it later. This saves your life so many times. What we now have is a super high mobility build that as soon as it feels like it's going to die, it vanishes into stealth. And in that second in stealth, it can run away really, really, really quickly. All right? So just dueling extremely powerful. I actually think every single one of these trait picks here is non-negotiable. Seriously. Seriously. I don't actually know anything else I'd remotely be interested in taking in that line. Non-negotiable for this playstyle, this build. So there you go, that's dueling. Moving on to illusions. Shattering inflicts confusion, so even more confusion. So Cry of Frustration now is doing 2 confusion, blind confusion per clone, remember, as well, and on ourselves. So if we have 3 up and we dump those out, we put a huge amount of confusion out, and I'll show you that already. All I'm going to use this as skill 2 with some illusions up, okay? That's all I'm going to do here. Oh, there's another side of the ambush, which I'll talk about in a second. Oh, I'll talk about it now. I don't know why I delay it. All right, so we want lots of illusions. The other thing, by the way, is our ambush. It also generates clones. So when we use it, when we use our leap, a clone appears where we started from. And that's extremely important. So here we've got 3 clones. They're just autoing, doing nothing except applying a little bit of bleed every now and then. Basically no damage here, really. But if I press my F2, that's 10 confusion instantly, out of nowhere, really. All right? And you can see, obviously, the amount of damage that did to a heavy golem. And so then even our mind rack, we got 6, and that was with only 2 illusions there. So you can see just the damage starts rolling heavily. Moving on, we're going to take the Pledge. So this is just going to buff our torch, reduce the recharge on these so we can stealth more frequently. And also, we get a whole new packet of burning on them. A whole new packet. So this has gone up to 4 burn. This one's gone up to 3. But also the initial strikes as well. So this 5, if we just summon the Phantasm now, it's 3 burn already. Then the Phantasm attacks and puts it to 5. And will continually apply 2 every time it attacks after that. So what you can do... And one thing I see very few Condi Mirages actually seem to understand is even possible, which is a bit upsetting, is you can sneak up to someone in stealth and time casting the 5 right as you release for an instant burn of 7, rolling into 9 burn. I mean, they'll probably dodge the second bit, but you can you can jump someone with 7 burn, which is very heavy. So that's a huge part of your damage as well, by the way. Again, it's a skirmisher, right? It's a +1er. It jumps into engagements that people aren't ideally even awaiting for you. So these are the ways in which it can take advantage of its mobility. But we'll talk more about that later. Next, we get quicker recharge on our illusions, which is nice. I already demonstrated there's a lot of damage on that. The illusion over here isn't that great, but whatever. It can do some plays sometimes. Moving on, another extremely important trait. This has been a staple of Condi Chrono and many Condi Mesmer builds for years now. I can't believe I can actually say that out loud, but genuinely years. Shatter skills also inflict Torment. So the Torment is also a big money maker. A lot of your damage here. You're seeing it all start to roll in. So remember that demonstration on the Cry of Frustration before? I'll do my generation here and I'll show you. Well, now when we press F2... we've also got 4 Torment on him at the same time. That was a light golem, which is always going to die quicker, so don't be too wet in the mouth there, but Don't get too big dick over that. But yeah, the Torment's extremely powerful, if not just for the Torment damage itself, but also as a cover condition. So yeah, and then finally, we're going to improve our shatters. So speaking of cover conditions, that's why this is really strong. Now, there are some maybe... Well, no, not really. Not really. Only because the other two aren't very good. The main thing I like this for, okay, is distortion reflecting projectiles. Okay, so let me just go back to basics for 1 second. Scourge is like one of the most OP things in the game right now. Scourge, though, is actually quite well designed in a few ways. More ways than most people will give credit to Guild Wars 2 at the moment. One of the ways in which it's well designed is it is very easily hard countered by WASD and ranged power damage. It is. I mean, the main thing that... If you want to know one of the biggest things that Scourge needs nerfing, like an actual tangible answer on this... I don't even know what I'm logging in here. This is taking ages. Scourge has a trait, okay? Doomfire. I wasn't running Doom. Yeah, well, okay. Oh, we were running on the YOLO version. Anyway, this here, Weakening Shroud. This makes you inflict weakness when you crit. That needs, like... If they improved the ICD on that to, like, 40 seconds, reduce the duration by half, Scourge would be way more in line, because it actually has a tool against these. But listen, back to what I was trying to say. This is one of the most OP things in the game, but it is reasonably well countered by ranged power damage. Ranged power damage. Ranged power damage often comes in the form of projectiles. So you get a lot of PP thieves cheesily running around. You even get rifle deadeyes. Well, they're both deadeyes. You get rifle deadeyes, which neither of these are very successful, by the way. And you can easily poo on our Mesmer build here. And I'll explain why in a second. But the Dragon Hunters you're seeing around a lot of the time. One of the only looks Soul Beast has in the meta at the moment. With their longbows, it's all about Scourge, right? So basically the point is, because of that need for ranged power damage and how useful it is on camping these like flavor of the month Scourges that are running around, it means there's a lot of projectiles running around, which makes this an even stronger slot because we reflect projectiles here. So I get a lot of matchups against DHs, against PP thieves, against all kinds that I can distort and just make them shoot themselves in the face and kill themselves, yeah? Alright, so anyway, that was a long way just to say that, you know, the way the meta has oriented itself is that's it's kind of a stupid discussion anyway, because you would just take this nonetheless, but I'm trying to explain one of the reasons why it's strong. But yeah, also, Cry of Frustration cripples. So, cover conditions, Cry of Frustration cripples. I'll show you that on this NG. You see all the conduit, well, they started stripping because obviously cleanses and things. But that cripple is huge. It's really, really nice, and it means quite often your condi loading will get through nonetheless. Higher crit chance on the Mind Rack isn't too good, but AoE F3, AoE diversion's kind of nice as well, because what this means is when you use your 3 to interrupt people over a downstate body, imagine you've got an enemy, he's down on the floor, loads of people are rezzing him, you can run in and divert, and each of those can hit the body, loading the body with confusion, and the rezzers, yeah? So, I mean, that's very strong as well. So yeah, there you go. Illusions, very easy to understand. And then finally we have Mirage. We're going to take Riddle of Sand here. And what this means is whenever we shatter, which you've already seen now, a lot of our damage is from shatters. Whenever we do one of these, it gives us a buff, which means our next ambush will do more confusion. So remember, the interrupt jump already does confusion if it manages to score an interrupt. But now it will anyway, because basically if you watch the way that my rotation goes here, I mean, PvP isn't really a rotationally oriented thing. But you see... Oh, he blocked it, right? Which will happen. But you see, when I ambush, I'll land it. And then we shatter because we've just generated something. And then we go again, right? And so it refreshes and it refreshes and it refreshes. And you can juggle that as you play. I actually still have a lot to learn about really getting the maximum use out of that. But it's just kind of a nice thing that's constantly going on in the background. I suppose you could run Renewing Oasis, but meh. Oh, yeah, I didn't see. What's the update to regen that they're talking about? I kind of want to see. And I suppose, I don't know, do Axe people run self-deception because they don't get the generation? I'm guessing on Axe you run self-deception, but I don't actually know. Anyway, next we're going to take this one here. Desert Distortion. Now, new Mirages probably want to run this. Protection when Mirage Cloak ends. Which just means whenever you dodge, you get protection at the end of it, which is actually kind of nice. And good, obviously, based on your matchup. If you're against a lot of that power damage, this can be a lifesaver. I really struggle against SD Thief, good SD Thief, and I've often found myself wondering if I'd like this. But we're going to run this instead, okay? So Desert Distortion. What this means, okay, is 2 different things, all right? 2. First, what it means is when we have... I'll go back to a golem for this. First, what it means is when we have illusions out, okay, and we use distortion, all right, they will turn into mirrors. And the mirrors we can pick up for more cloak, which is evades, which can save your life, which is more ambushes, which is more chances it interrupts, which is more blinds, which is more clone generation, more. The actual highest, like, the thing that, you know, you're going to be wrestling with after you've got the basics of this build is this trait here. And a lot of you might look at that and think, oh, is that really that strong? It is strong. The other thing it does is you just straight up get an ambush when you use distortion. And that is a play-making trait. That is huge. I mean, I honestly can't tell you the amount of scourges I can kill and camp just because I can keep rotating into more ambushes and more interrupts. That little bit of extra mobility to bail off of a node that you wouldn't have without that trait. I mean, it's huge. It's just so nice. And once you get to grips with this, one of the weirdest things that will trick new players up is they'll be ambushing at weird moments and they won't understand why. And it will be because they're getting it from distortion. But that is honestly a play-making trait. The actual reason I think why I like this the most is hunting scourges at mid-fights and things. Because you can basically go ambush, divert, distort, ambush, and then you've probably got your other ambush up again. So it's like interrupt. And by the end of it, you've been loading confusion stuff on them like mad. If they've got no life force at the start. And blinds as well, by the way. Their plague signets really often miss because they're blind, because these shatters are applying blinds. So it's just like... It's really nasty, and just giving you that one last interrupt to get that consume confusions or whatever at the end, consume conditions or whatever at the end is huge. It's really nice. I don't know why I'm going so in depth in this build when this was supposed to be a bit of a noob guide, but there you go. So this is good. I could see some use for Mirage Mantle, but I like Desert Distortion. It's got a lot of plays you can make with it. And then lastly, Elusive Mind, which, if you guys remember, when we had the POF betas, I talked about how absurdly overtuned Mirage was. Like, just how grossly insane the fucking thing was. Not the betas, sorry. I think it had been fixed by the betas. But when I originally got to see it, and when I originally got to play it, this was only a master tier trait. This was only master tier. So this is, whenever you dodge... You break, stun, and you cleanse. And you need a lot of cleanse, obviously, in this meta. The stun break as well. Playing with this is just... It's so strong. Neither of these other traits can even come close to competing in this format. It's so powerful. And the devs that originally had it as only master tier. I just, honestly... gobsmacked. So yeah, this as the meta battle page says for this doesn't really have much burst cleanse, but it's got consistent cleanse, because you're going to get that to cleanse, and then also your elite is going to be jaunt, which also cleanses a condition each time you use it. So jaunt is also more mobility, more confusion, and more condi cleanse, but on the mobility front it's really nice. So basically you can go ambush, jaunt forward, ambush, jaunt forwards, distort, ambush if you really want. I mean, that would be a bit of a waste. And I'll show you another thing you can do. And you can just keep charging and charging around. So jaunt's really nice for that. Also, just between your bursts, right? You jump in with your torch stuff. You start loading the confusion and the blinds and things. And you just jaunt on them randomly as you play. And it blows them up. Also, this is a leap. So when you get good, you can notice all the rangers dropping water fields and things. And you can leap through them. Even the firebrands these days... by these days I mean post Path of Fire, that one of their tomes is a water field, which usually isn't recommended. Most of them won't do it, but if you notice somebody's just spamming tome skills, which a lot of them do, you can leap through that with jaunt, and that's a big heal. This becomes a big heal as well. So it's just a really solid elite. I couldn't imagine running any of the other elites. I mean, I can imagine running Moa, but jaunt just makes this... Jaunt looks at what's good about this build and just gives you more in all of those areas. So there you go. So that's your traits, that's your weapons, that's a lot of the playstyle and stuff that's demonstrated to you. I'll give you guys 2 guesses as to 2 of our other skills. Mobility is the name of the game. We're going to run Blink, which is absurdly powerful. Stun Break, 1200 range. with a stupidly low cooldown. If you compare this to like Light and Flash on the early, it's gross how much stronger Blink is than it. But there you go. So we're going to run Blink. We are, of course, going to run Portal. So Portal allows us across a massive area to connect two locations. There's probably literally like a 2-hour discussion that you could go into to articulate fully why Portal is so strong. But this is one of the most absurdly overpowered things that's ever existed in PvP. The only reason it's, I think, been allowed to stay by the devs, and will continue to, is because it's immensely satisfying to see plays being made with it. And it's sort of the highlights of what Conquest can offer, really, in my opinion. But it is extremely powerful, too powerful, in my opinion. Also, I think on some level, a lot of people don't really know how to use it very well. I don't even rate myself that highly, but anyway, we don't have to get into all of that. But yeah, so Portal, very, very strong, obviously. And then lastly, you do get an option. I think Meta Battle is currently recommending this signet here. So this is 20% Condi duration. You remember I have that sigil that's 20% confusion? This is 20% to everything. So the torment and the burning and the random little bleeds you get, they all get buffed like mad. It's also another stun break for you, and it stealths around you and blinds, which becomes confusion. So like this is just another get out of jail free card, basically. You can pop this and you'll be safe. You can pop it as well to add confusion onto your burst. You can, but really you want to hold it for the 20% Condi duration. So this is very strong. Signet of Midnight is very strong. When I was learning Mirage, this is what I started on. It just offers you even more safety nets, even more opportunities. But I'm going to run a different skill, which has got a lot of RNG based in it, and probably needs to be fixed by the devs, to be honest, with the way it works. Sometimes it fails entirely, and it's really gross, but it also it's just super fun, and it's new. So I'm going to be running Illusionary Ambush, which, like Blink, is a 1200 range teleport. So so let's say we want to jump that indestructible golem over there. I hope that we don't get a no line of sight thing. We can stealth with the 4. We are going to get no line of sight. And then Blink and Illusionary Ambush. And we can, like, snap over to someone extremely quickly. Not to mention with the jaunts. Not to mention with the portals. So you're really starting to see just how fast we move now. We really do move very fast. So finally, there's the rune, which I didn't tell you guys about before. And now it will make perfect sense why we run this rune. There's only 2 runes that are really great that I've found so far. One of them is Nightmare runes, which I'll show you. Now, if you're very careful about how you play Guild Wars 2, I think you could be really good with this. Rune of the Nightmare is loads of condition damage, loads of condition duration, so it's great, strong build. But if you look here, when we use an elite skill, we deliver around us an AoE. Now, this is nerfed. If you guys remember the old Nightmare runes, they were extremely strong. They nerfed it to this, which looks really crap. But listen, deliver an AoE around us in 240 radius, which isn't very much. An AoE around us that blinds, and that does proc with our trait. So jaunt is our elite, which is always there because it's the ammo mechanic. So when we jaunt onto someone into melee, guess what? We proc the blind that can only trigger in melee, which procs the trait. So this is just a really nice synergistic fun idea. It also transfers a condition off of you onto them, but it's only one condition. And the way that the playstyle of this build works is you're jumping on people, right? So unless this is like a counter burst you're throwing back at a Scourge who's not expecting it, quite often you won't have a Condi on you, or a really relevant one, or a big stack of Condis to flip. So that part of it isn't too strong. I don't know. If this had like a 20-second ICD, I think it could have a lot more synergy with John or whatever. But anyway, that's one strong rune set. The other really strong rune set that I always run, and it's basically a no-brainer, is Adventurer. Condition damage, the power we don't care about, so it's not perfectly efficient really, because you get 2 slots there that you really don't care too much about, though they're of some minor benefit. But check it out, condition damage, good. When you use a heal skill, you gain 50% endurance. And that 50% endurance is crazy, alright? So we can jaunt 3 times in a row by using our heal between nodes. If you want to add the distort in and really blow all your cooldowns, you can use that as well. You can just move really fast, guys. If you really need it. If you need to make a play that will save the game, hold a newt at mid or something, you can do these things, right? And you can just keep rolling with that sword jump. So Adventure runes are really good. And the heal we're going to run is the Mirage Mirror heal. which is just a big, strong heal. That also drops a mirror a few seconds later. So you can use that, then Blurred Frenzy, and then you get this, and you can jump out. So during all that entire period of time, really, if you're almost dead, you can drop this straight into the Blurred Frenzy, knowing you'll leave the Blurred Frenzy still evading, and then dip out with an ambush before your next stealth comes. If you're running the Signet, you can pop that, or the Prestige, or whatever, and then you're away, yeah? So you can see, basically, what this build is it's chaining tons of evades into tons of damage, interrupts, and it's built on mobility. So that's the build. That's the idea of the build. I know a lot of you are snoozing right now, and you're like, this is really boring. Can we actually see it in play? And you can. So we will actually run this now, but I want to quickly nip to the toilet. I've been desperate to go for ages, so I'm going to quickly nip and go do that, and I will see you guys in a second, and I'll demonstrate a little bit of why this build's so goddamn strong, and we'll see how that goes. Just 2 seconds, guys. In the meantime, I don't know, you can watch something. Oh god, that just ended on a black screen. That's not good. That would have caused people to just bugger off. Jesus Christ. Alright, I also got a can of Fanta. Alright, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Alright, let's look at this. What should this say? PvP instead? What's giving you the leap with the Mirage cloak? That's the... Oh, sorry, we're on the wrong overlay. That's the ambush on the sword. So yeah, sorry. Oh, I never properly explained. Yeah, the heal, it creates a field that after that does nothing, but in a couple of seconds it summons a mirror, which then gives you the cloak, and you can jump through it. Yeah. No, every time you Mirage cloak, you do not have 2 seconds of reflect. You only get reflect from distortion. The Mirage mirror is not distortion. They both give you evade, okay? I mean, Mesmer's a bit fucked at the moment because it's got a thing called blur here. It's got a thing called a distort here, and now it has Mirage mirrors as well, all of which provide evade, but they're not the same thing. None of them are the same thing. Only distort makes you reflect. Mirage mirrors do not make you reflect. They'll help you, but they won't, you know, no one's going to hit you, but you're not going to throw projectiles back at them. Sorry, there is a trait instead of blind. What, in Mirage, really? I don't understand. Maybe I'm looking at a wrong conversation there. Alright, so let's just go play a game. And what I'll do, as always, is just talk about what I'm doing as I do it. And why I'm doing it. Why are some textures broken? I don't know, my client does this, but on map swaps it fixes, so. So it won't be a problem. There's pink rocks because I think it's pretty, guys. They say if you stare long enough into the blackness of WP's stream, WP will stare right back at you. Do you know what's really freaky about that though? If you've got a particularly shiny monitor, what will happen is you'll see a reflection of yourself. Whoa! Oh, it's insane. I'm really sad I can't mount my Fire Raptor right now. Maybe the rocks are normal color and you are the pink ones. That's also kind of crazy. Yeah, they're pink potatoes. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot, that they're pink potatoes. Maybe we can do some brawling in the meantime, since we're queuing from in here. I'll tell you what, Guild Wars really needs, what it really, PvP, one of the things that it really needs is, while queuing, I want to be able to safely and without any risk or fear, and I think the game should actually have an option for this. I think instead of defaulting to Heart in the Mist, I should be in hot joins. I think hot joins should be populated with just random people who are waiting during their queues. I think that'd be really cool. But I'm too scared to click server 79 right now because it's like, what if there's a queue pop right as it happens and blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to have to refresh the queue. I don't want to miss my train, so to speak. Ah, and these people aren't actually brawling, and it doesn't look like I want to. This guy's in a script tonic, so he won't actually fight me. Or he can't fight me, I should rather say. Do we have any minis on this? No, not a single mini. Unlock at level 6. Oh, maybe I should use my booster. So I'll talk a little bit, I guess, for those curious about matchups. Scourge, you can kill Scourges. Very good Scourges are always going to be a real challenge. You can kill them, though. Low life force ones you can kill very quickly and easily. High life force ones can be a problem. It also depends a lot on the node that you're at and how much play space they've got. But generally, you start on staff, you just play a little bit attritive and you'll be fine. So here, did you see how I dodged and cleansed the burning? Again, the Condi cleanse dodge is just huge. I'll do it again here, right? This mage will keep doing it. So all I've got to do is make sure I have the endurance and I can just insta-cleanse before it even ticks me. Yeah. It's such a strong Grandmaster trait. It's so obscene. Or dodge it in the first place, obviously, there. I don't know what I voted on. I actually don't know. Oh, and then once we run out of that, we can jaunt as well. So, again, we've got tons of Condi Cleanse. We've got tons of it. But it's not burst Condi Cleanse, yeah? So, you've got to sort of portion it out a little bit. Like this may... Okay, so what I'm going to vote for here is... Okay, so as a skirmisher, you favor anything that... I'm going to go Colosseum. As a skirmisher, you face anywhere where there's a lot of objectives, and there's a lot of ways you can take advantage of your mobility. Generally speaking, our play style... Now, I'll refer you to the previous games we played, right? Where we were the Scourge, we were the Firebrand, to a lesser extent when we were the Hollowsmith. Especially the Firebrand and the Scourge. Very slow, static, sort of meandering... what's the word? They determine the big fights, yeah? So they would go to mid, and, you know, especially as the Firebrand, you're at the big team fight. You'd best be, otherwise you're being useless, basically, right? Like, those are the big engagements. We're going to flirt with the big engagements. Our job isn't necessarily to 1v1 anyone. There are very few people you actually rotate into and you think, yeah, I'll take that 1v1. Most of the 1v1s, even that you can win, take too long to win for it to be worth it, yeah? So a lot of this is, and this is why I said, if you remember at the start of the stream, high mobility builds, as long as you know a couple of fundamental things, they're actually really easy builds to do well on. Because quite often, you don't even have to, like, know how to fight people. We're a bully, all right? Here's a way to describe it. As a +1er, we're a bully. We, if I'm getting sour messages from people, and they're not asking me if I'm hacking, all right? Which always feels good. That mostly happens on Power Burst anyway. That's like Weaver. When I'm playing Weaver, you get people ask you if you're hacking all the time when you fresh air burst someone. But the main thing people will say to me when they rage at me is, how can I type this so that no one will see? I guess in guild chat. Haha, pussy, run and 2v1 all day, bitch. It will be stuff like that, all right? Because that's essentially what I want to do. I can take some 1v1s. But most of the time, if I'm not, like, extremely confident I'll kill you and quick, I just won't. There's no point to. So there I was trying to proc my Doom Sigil. There was no need. Have I streamed this? Why do I remember telling you all about the Doom Sigil thing? By the way, you'll notice I mind rack quite often, quite randomly. I'm doing that for Vigor so that I can get more ambushes quickly. So here I'm jumping in. Oh, no. My keybinds are fucked. I just ported randomly and terribly. That's fine. We can maybe still make some... No, I don't know about this. This is actually pretty atrocious. Okay, I did not play well there, by the way. But it's okay, because their Firebrand sucks ass. And they all just walked onto the node. So here, right, we just saw someone came in from there close. So And we've already scored the first couple of kills. I'm quite comfortable that mid should win. So I'm just going to come decap them. It was their Mesmer that they sent close, so he's going to have to port back just to stop me doing this. And if I want, I can port back in. I'm not going to. Normally, I wouldn't have a portal established at mid like that. I'm not going to. Actually, I probably could have. I might have saved the Ranger, which means this is bad. This is bad, though. Usually, I have Blink there and portal on the inside. So I just went full muscle memory and randomly ported, and it was just terrible. So here I'm watching for wherever the target is. Some of my binds on this account are still messed up, by the way. So we nuke this guy. I think he was running renewed focus. Here I'm looking at the Greatsword Mesmer, who I know is power, so I'm going to nuke him as well. And we're going to watch them die. Now we're going to chain our ambush and the diversions over the body. Now we're going to watch this guy because he's not doing anything. He's just letting us kill him. He's on a Scepter as a Mirage, which I think is really silly. He's not making any plays. He's bailed out somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. Okay, so now I'm watching my Thief is taking... Okay, it's just a decap. If the Thief was going to try and take a fight there, which would be a bit weird, but maybe he was confident I would come, I would have gone and +1'd it. I would have, you know, outnumbered. So here, Guardian's coming. So our Guardian is 2v1 right now. When the Thief goes in, that's a 2v2. When I go in, we're outnumbering them 3v1. We have +1, and we'll take the fight. But these guys need to actually get on the engagement a little bit here. Oh my god, Blink in this place is really horrible. So there I got a really nice burst because my Prestige landed. I'm just sort of holding so you can see the guy's dead. Oh, what's going on with my binds? My binds are so horrible. The Scourge was on the body, so I just wanted to make sure I stayed on the body to get the interrupts and load Condi. He's got 16 confusion on him right now. Granted, that's because I have Mesmer that was doing something as well. So here I've watched a guy going down there. I dodged the Fear because I saw the giant animation. Because Necro Fear is trash. I don't actually know what's going... There's something about my targeting that's really off. So here I'm low. I'm just trying to get out. I'm actually surprised the bodies are sustained so much downstate there. And obviously, I knew we were fine there because it was just 2 bodies, which we can easily rally on. I should have established a portal as I rotated away there. We have a bad... Well, I don't know. Is he bad? He could be pushing that right now. If I said I'd blink up, I'd go sword here instead of close straight away. But I think it's fine. We can push him with a Hollowsmith. So here, Illusionary Ambush, you're going to watch as being a useful cooldown. I'm watching for that Mesmer, Prestige, Illusionary Ambush, straight into the auto. The Prestige burst out at the same time. This is his health. He's got 7 confusion. That means we got Erupt, by the way. Oh my god, what? Why is the bear targeted? I have something wrong with, like, take closest target right now. So he's fleeing, so we're going to chase. Oh, this is so annoying. This is horrible. So here we're gonna... He stealthed, so he could have stealthed with his torch, which you saw there. My preemptive Blurred Frenzy there in the middle of the room was because I thought he might jump up on me. Here I could go for a stealth stomp, but he's probably going to randomly press the 2, which he did, which makes me happy that I didn't, because instead I loaded my Condi and we just kill him instead of needing to stomp whatsoever. Here we've got a body down, so I'm going to swap to Staff to strip stab, hopefully, and drop the Chaos Field. The Chaos Storm, sorry. Here I'm being aggressive, but it's only a Ranger. That's a search and rescue, so we need to get in. So I'm going to use Illusionary Ambush, interrupt, dodge, interrupt again. Here I was actually trying to get onto that guy who was peeling out. We'll follow the Ranger now. Now we'll Mind Rack to get our Riddle of Sand back. And this is a very snowbally map, obviously. Where is my portal then? Where did I put it? It's like there, isn't it? It's in the middle. So this guy's there, coming to our close, which we've obviously all seen. They've all rotated off, so I need to take the node. Bit annoying. So I'm going to go bully this guy over here now. And just make sure this fight ends really quickly. Yeah. So he's got that. You see that poison that we've got there from our sigil as well? So here we use this to stop the Prestige from hitting us. We shatter around us. He's super low. And again, this Mesmer's never going to win that because I'm outnumbering him. And generally, you can force that a lot because you're quick. So now, we've cleaned that up, and now I can come help my friends who were already established in a fight right when I made that decision a minute ago. So it's Scourge Firebrand mid. If they were good, this would be kind of annoying. But from what I saw at the start at mid, they were kind of trash. Thing is, we've got... I mean, they're getting Condi bombed hard. We don't even have a Scourge, so I'm quite impressed with these Condi bombs. I don't know what it is that's doing it. So here again, we roll the interrupts, and if you watch the pressure we can put on this body, eventually that guy has to get off. We actually interrupted him to get him off there. Again, the stomps don't really need to happen there. We burst him again. You're not really seeing my build do much on this game, by the way. It's mostly my allies are doing much better. Yeah, and I need to... So, hold on. Controls. T should be take target, not call target. Take target. That's one of the things that's a problem. What's the other thing that's a problem? Oh, it's these, which I think we can swap mid-match. In Guild Wars 1 you could anyway. No, the UI doesn't let you do it anymore. That's a shame. Alright. You don't play PvP because you're the one I would say sucks? So there, by the way, I cannot articulate what I was doing there. Here, it's bad, really, because that Mesmer threatens me, and he actually got reasonable support from his Firebrand there in the way of resistance. But because they chose to get me there, just because I was on the node, by the way, so now he's burst me, as you can see, that they sort of sacrificed their friend. I'm literally moving here. Watch how strong... Okay. This guy won his 1v1, all right, which is fair. So this is now going to look really stupid of me, but I have a pause, so it's not going to be a total waste of time. But that's one of the things that mobility is so strong with in this game, right? You can bail out of a fight that you're losing, and that can be an aggressive play. Like, I was basically regenerating all my health there. So here, you see just the interrupt chain we can roll around? This is how easy it is to kill Scourges. Like, it's not hard. I mean, it was a 2v1, so again, we got this coming in here again. I was just talking about the speed of death there. He could have, in theory, had life force, because the game is underway. Something's going on. What is the other problem with my binds? I'm not quite sure what it is right now, but it feels very odd. So I'm going to double tap. Okay, so I'll tell you about the ICD on the auto in a second. So that's a druid, by the way. Okay, so here I'm going to cover stomp with F2 because I get blind on all my stomps. Which means that he couldn't use his thing. So here I'm dodging his shield Phantom. I only actually got one. The timing was pretty awful there. To stop him generating on... Oh, there's too much to talk about. There's a fucking Scourge coming in now. It's too much. I can't talk about it all this quick. Just stacking burns and burning this guy down. That Scourge is having a miserable game, which is good. Okay, they're all dead and I can rotate away now. Oh my god, the ranger's coming in again. Mind you, yeah, my bad. I made a fucking bad play there. Now we've lost that node, probably, because they just got a big rally. Yeah, I just basically made a terrible play. I think I lost us this node. So again, we'll evade that. We got a beautiful ambush right after that. They're bailing out, so they made an even worse play than I did. They could have pressed their advantage much more, but I might be able to just cleave through all of this now. Thing is, it's a druid. Okay, so what I was trying to explain is druids... This guy's just camping the Scourge. It's hilarious. Oh, no, that was a Mesmer. I guess Scourge respawned and rotated somewhere else. So he's dead as well. I just played really badly, honestly. That was like silver tier gameplay there from me. We'll give up, though. We've got the rest of the map, so it's fine. To articulate all the ways that was bad would just take a while. Listen, though, that's a druid, which is the single tankiest thing. It doesn't really support people very much, but it's super tanky. So there we timed our prestige and whatnot with... There I used illusionary ambush defensively, by the way. That's an example of the distortion into Mirage leap for safety. Here I'm still messing up with my binds. We're going to pick up the res because they're not pressuring it, which is silly of them. Here my NG's on far. This is a portal to close, which is irrelevant. So I'm going to go... wait, what? My head hurts. What happened on the map there? So here we'll go for an interrupt at the last second. We'll cover with blinds and double dodges while rezzing. These are all advantages that this has over Thief, by the way. For the downstate game. That guy was moving too fast to actually be a real target. Now I can come into +2 this, but it's a druid, right? So this is the point. Druids are really, really tanky. So the wet dream of the druid is to sustain for a long time against 2 players, while the rest of his friends win the rest of the map. I was going to port earlier there, but again, I was pressing the wrong fucking keybind. So I'm just doing that to force that quickly because we are already in an... Basically, if you're already winning, there are a lot of advantages. There are a lot of plays that would usually be bad, but now are okay, just because you're in an advantageous position. Like, you can be okay with 1 cap. and a stalled mid as long as you already have a 100-point lead, right? Do you get what I mean? So you can make like conservative, stupid, slow plays, but you'll still win, sort of thing. I don't know how I cannot explain that really in the middle of a match. Anyway, I'm going back. Oh my god, I thought that was my portal there. I honestly thought I had 2 portals in mid, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm not that bad. Okay, so we're just going to focus on the firebrand. By the way, there is another component of this build. So here he's resustaining. I mean, this is gross, really. A firebrand and a druid on the node. If I can get Newt, I'm really happy with this. If I don't get Newt, I'm not. That was a beautiful interrupt there from the NG. So that's fine.
You've lost the field.
I can just leave him there. He can hold that Newt now. Like, they can't even pressure him. They really can't. The druid can a bit. In the meantime, I'm looking for an opportunity. He can just bunk this close, our close point over there, and we win the game. So here's an example of fighting a... Oh, I missed the prestige. Here's an example of fighting a Scourge, even when they have Shroud and stuff. You can just... Everything you just saw me do there with the 17 confusion, it went to 22 because of the other player. But during that entire time, did you see me get condied once? I mean, he wasn't particularly focusing on me. But the thing is, most of that was evade chaining anyway. Here I walked into my mirror, which I established from the distort earlier, which I'd used aggressively. Here, I'm coming back to my close just to quickly drop a portal and then rotate back off, because this is all we need to win the game. So rotating away from that's kind of stupid. So I'm just going to put a portal there to make sure none of them can ever take it. There's a stealthed Mesmer going for our node right now. I'm just going to do this because he knows to win the game, he needs to newt it. And all I have to do is chain evades now, so we win the game. That was beautiful. That was a double blurred frenzy with neither of us in combat. And there you go. One game one on Mesmer. Right, what was that I was trying to explain? I don't remember. I think I need to reorient my utility skills though. You have trouble taking a druid down even if he walks in your traps. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what kills druid 1v1. I don't think anything does. I think that's why the build exists. I don't think it dies, right? If they're remotely good anyway and they got off the node a little bit. I'm not sure if any builds do it. I'd love to hear about one. But I don't know. Like, literally, you just caught... Like, if a druid ever rotates into a fight with me on any of the builds I've shown you, any of them, on Hollow, on Scourge, on Mirage, I never fight a druid. I just walk away. I just give them what they want. Just give them what they want. And just take a fight elsewhere. Let him piss about on whatever side node he's pushing aggressively and do something else. That's what I do every single time without fail. The only time I fight a druid is if it's already an established 1v1 and presumably he's dropped a few of his cooldowns, so then I can come in and quickly push him. SD Thief sometimes? Does it really? I can't imagine having the pressure to kill a druid. Yeah, Dossie says it can't. I really don't think anything can. Like, that's another build. That's another sort of gameplay style that I would like to talk about at some point. It's probably... I mean, the thing is... I mean, it is one of the most overpowered things out there as well. Basically, everything I've shown you, the last super OP thing on the list is that. Really. But, I mean, when we're talking about 9 professions and 6 of them are being represented as overpowered, I don't quite know how we can whinge about it being the worst balance in the world. Don't you want to check? Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me just put Blink back. This is how I usually play it. So every time I was porting randomly there, I was actually trying to blink or something. Because usually what you do on an engage on a mid-fight is... So here's the thing. You guys saw me playing the Scourge on a previous stream. You saw it. The thing with the Scourges are... Until they get life force, they can't cleanse themselves with the F2. They can't give themselves extra meat shields with the F3 or the F5, right? By way of barrier. They can't do any of those things. So you can pressure them really hard. So sort of on a Mirage, you're going to do one of two things, probably. There are situations where you'd go far. But mostly, you're either going to go for the big mid fight. You're going to take close, okay? And drop a portal there, which they'll want to do. Depending on the matchup, quite often you'd rather do that. But if you're in a situation where you're going to the mid-fight, you can be a real force for that mid-fight by just instantly eliminating the Scourge. Like, you can 100, 2-0, a Scourge, like, 80 to 90% of the time, if they're unsupported by their Firebrand. And here's the thing, like, there's a big topic of discussion at the moment, and that's the Firebrand Scourge combo, where the Firebrand heals the hell out of the Scourge, and then the Scourge just wrecks hell everywhere. And this is extremely powerful, and it is sort of you know, if you want to be competitive, a necessity for any team at the moment. And, you know, it is extremely, you know, dominating, and it's overpowered and needs tuning back down. However, when we actually talk about real queuing, real league play, real experiences, once you're past the point where you can duo queue, I mean, I don't really know how to say this in a way that's nice. Most Firebrands are way too shit for it to actually matter. I watch a lot of games in progress where people are whinging, oh, they got Firebrand Scourge, they got Fire, and it does give them an advantage. But in truth, the Firebrands just play like crap. They don't actually help the Scourge. Basically what I'm telling you is I on a Mirage can global a Scourge, whether he's got a Firebrand there or not, most of the time. Because often, here's what happens. I'll show you what happens most games. In real leagues, real experiences, actual Guild Wars 2, as it is right here, right now, through Season 9 and 10. I'll tell you what happens. We will use this supposedly 1v1 arena as an example. Why not? We'll go red team. Okay, here's what happens. This is the level of play you get. And again, for NA, let me just say, for the top of NA for this season and last season, okay? This is what you get. Let's just pretend I'm a Scourge right now, okay? So I'm a Scourge. I'm gonna go to mid. The game's just begun, all right? So, oh god, we're really scared. Oh, I'm a Scourge. Oh, I know I'm really squishy at the start of the game. Because these aren't trash players, from some perspectives, right? Oh, you know, I've got to be concerned. Oh god, okay, all right. Oh, look, my Thief's blasting stealth. Okay, all right, I'll get stealth. Okay, good. All right. My Firebrand's going in on the node. Okay, good. My Hollow Smith's here on the left. All right, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. All right. I'll tell you where they'd find it really hard to get to me. All right, I'm gonna come up here. All right, good. Yeah. Look, I can use my marks. And right now, right at this moment, Firebrand's on the node, Scourge is over here, and I, the Condi Mirage, just say, oh, hello, and I kill the Scourge. That's it. It's over. And the Scourge dies. Then the Firebrand has to make some massive Cavalier charge to come here. It doesn't even have to be this exaggerated, by the way. The Scourge could be standing here, right? The Scourge could be standing over on this ledge over here. It doesn't take that much of a gap. It doesn't take that much of a distance for the tomes to be out of range. Most Firebrands aren't sticking to the Scourges like they would in an actual AT or in any actual organized proper fight. For league play, this is what actually happens. Then the Firebrand has to make some ludicrous charge, you know, has to jump over here, feels like a pro because he does his little JP on the graves, right? Comes up, and now he's trying to res over a body where my entire team can just focus fire here and AoE here, and we win the mid fight. Invariably, we win the mid-fight. I, as the Condi Mirage, by the way, I've done my job. I've burst the guy down. Maybe get a few more interrupts or pressure at the start of the fight. But that's it. I'm out. I'm out now. I'm rotating far, or I'm rotating to counter whatever they put to our close node. And, I can start snowballing with the portals after that. And you win. This is how you get an 80% win rate. It's like, it's so easy. So, I just see all this incessant bitching online at the moment about Firebrand Scourge. And again, I'm not talking about ATs. I'm not talking about tournaments. I'm not talking about actual competitive play with 5v5s where people in comms and stuff properly. I'm talking about if you actually are trying to competitively league in Guild Wars 2 of today, people are arguing for phantoms. It's bollocks. It doesn't actually exist. There are some people that are playing well together. Some Firebrands know what's going on, but they are not in most games. So yeah, these are some of the ways you can push an advantage on the Scourges. The Scourge is like... And there's so much complaining about Scourges at the moment, but as far as it reasonably stands for the quality of player, for the way that the game exists right now, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. It's really not. You can do that on Hollow as well, by the way. You can't 100 to 0 on Hollow, not in the same way. But if anyone's got... I mean, I would do the same on Hollow, really. I'd Elixir S, push over to them. Just a slight bit of pressure from someone else. DP, SD, Thief, anyone, just someone else can put a little bit of pressure, joint pressure with you as the Hollow, and you can global these Scourges. You can delete them. They just get deleted. Any kind of reasonable play. So yeah, and you'll see the difference. You know, I've done my tourneys. On this account, you can't see it, but you know, over this month alone, I've got myself, what, 290 qualifying points or something? 190, I can't remember which, but you know, I haven't done any ATs until like right around now, and in the ATs you'll see it's very different. They literally hold in hands. Scourges and Firebrands will hold hands. like proper together. So here I'm gonna go forest. It procced Spirit Watch, which is fine, I guess. I just don't like the mechanic on Spirit Watch because it takes all my skills away. Is this RP? RP is a Scourge or Mirage. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what actually led me to talk about that, but I think I was just talking about my opening sort of engagement. So here, what you usually do is you just look. So here, I got my Scourge. He's basically what I'm going to do here. I'm going to hunt the Scourge. And we'll see how they play. Someone in chat, Dosty, did you actually snipe me? Are you in this game? What's your account name? Oh, Dosty Men. Yeah, look, he's on the enemy team as well. So if Dosty is the hammer variant, I get very scared of the hammer variant. I'm not very good at fighting it on Mirage. In fact, I never really do. They always out-sustain me and they can burst me down. Hot mobs are greater than PvP players. No, but I mean, what I mean, the thing with Scourges is exactly the same as a lot of Necro builds have been. They're very squishy, very vulnerable. Power, when I say power, I don't mean power damage. They're carries, they're damage carries, they're team fighters, they're, you know, they swing team fights, but they have their downsides. They can be aggressed, hard. And most of them aren't actually being saved in the way that you might expect them to be. A lot of people just whinge because they see the existence of the two builds, right? So, like, here we have Scourge Firebrand, but the existence of these two players on my team, you know, it doesn't actually mean anything.
Hold on to your
So yeah, I'm going to prestige very early, and I'm just going to watch. And here we can get our jump. That's why Illusionary Ambush is strong, by the way. And I know that they're all here, but what's gross about this build... So if you can see his confusion and stuff. What's gross about this build is because it's so mobile... let's hope that's not a fear mark, because I'm going to bomb straight. What do you mean no line of sight? What do you mean no line? This is also why I hate Spirit Watch. Okay, we're fine. We can kill him now. It can sort of just get out of those kind of engagements, right? It can just... Oh, I missed my jaunt. He's dead anyway, I think. Oh, no, there you go. So now he gets barrier, right? So you want him before their life force builds up. And we just peel out and we watch. I like the name of my character. That's a cool character name. Here I'm going to use the Mind Rack before the ambush on the staff lands to make sure Riddle of Sand is up to put the 4 confusion on. And we'll just rot that body there, really. I'm looking at my minimap and I'm seeing I've got an NG, I've got Guardian, got lots of people. We secured 2 cap. They rotated kind of terribly. And, you know, like, oh, what? They have Firebrand. Oh, no. Oh. So here we got this guy, Illusionary Ambush again. And we kill him. I mean, this is a bad player. He tried to escape on a port that was established. There, that's a useless stomp. I was actually trying to double tap that, but it didn't go. And I'll probably just establish a portal at mid now. And we'll see what we got. So he's DH. As long as I got a friend, we can easily pressure Dosty. He's in chat right here, so everybody laugh at him as he over-aggresses and gets himself killed. He's on traps as well. That's funny. So there you saw my 50% health trait. He should be dead. Yeah, he is dead. There you go. The other Mirage. No, that was me. Sorry, you can't see it on stream. My Torment killed Dosty there. And then my friend... his body is still down, actually. That Necro's terrible. He should have killed me. I was looking at chat. And I'm on no health. So Dosty self-res because my friends didn't pressure and he's going to jump me. Mostly because I'm on stream, but also because I'm low and it would be a smart play. So, remember we have a portal at mid, so I'm just doing this to break out of combat here. And now we see the downstate body.
Your enemy picked up an orb.
I'm in a really tricky position here. Oh, I was dodging as well. I was dodging as we move through the trap. I was in a really tricky position because... For 2 reasons. One, I didn't know whether I could get Stomp or I could get... or kill. Because if we killed the elite guy, we would have been fine. But he was a Necro. I took too long to come back. We could have won that easily, but I took too long to come back, so it was me playing badly. I also wasted my heal, if you guys didn't see. I popped the heal right as I broke combat before we went in, which is what I wanted to try and tell you about, but I couldn't in time before I really had to get back. Also, he dropped his ring trap, which I knew I couldn't jaunt out of unless I had dodge up. But I had just dodged, so I was hoping that my Mirage mirror would still be there, so I wouldn't die. But it wasn't up, and he also got a lucky crit on it, so then we went downstate. If I had my heal, there were various things there. We also downed him very easily. The reason why his build is trash is because of how squishy it is, just FYI. So there we got the kill, but the stomp went through. I don't really need to be here. I'm not really accomplishing anything. But we can kill this warrior very comfortably. So here we're waiting for the distort. which we got on the hammer. And now we're going to push out. I actually probably could have killed the other guy there as well. He was really, really slow and weird there, but that's fine. So I'm watching close here. We don't need to Zerg 4 men here. So I'm watching really for my warrior to rotate into close, and then we can push that. The Necro on the road is a pretty juicy target too. We illusionary ambush and we move right around his thing. That's fine. Pushing. So he's pretty tanky. Now that I have life force, if I don't have all the tools I want, I'm going to play really cagey. Yeah. So we have aggro on both of them. I don't actually know what the warrior is doing. He's standing around scratching his ass. He literally did nothing. And now that other guy's gone in. So that's a 2v2 that I probably could actually take as a fight. It's weird when I'm streaming, I make all these really dumb rotations. It's very strange. So this is an... I think I saw him on axe. Did I see him on axe? Or is he on sword as well? Couldn't actually see really there. I think the warrior is really bad. I'm not seeing him ever popping resist. So I went down because I got burst by the Mesmer. We are fine as long as they just make sure I don't cause a big rally. This guy's going to vengeance. So what's really important is my friends make a play, which they did, which is good. And now we can finish this guy off. He's peeling out, so we're watching for wherever it is, and we're going to blink onto him when he does it. When he Did he stay at the node? Okay, he's a bad Mesmer. He could have left. He would have been fine if he'd left, but he didn't. So yeah, do you remember I said this is actually a really easy build? Mobile builds are good if you just know one fundamental thing. That's just knowing when to leave. Just know when to give it up. Just leave. As long as you just don't die, you'll be fine. And look, we've already been dying on these streams. That's quite funny, actually. So yeah, anyway. This is a really gross fight. What I'm watching for here is... No, see, he's going to the node. That's really annoying. What I was watching for was to try and make get a down, and then as they all rushed over the body... This is really low tier play, by the way. I don't know what I'm watching here. Watching Dusty coming in now. Oh, how did he interrupt that? That's so annoying. Oh, this is so bad. So bad, so bad, so bad. What I was trying to do was safely watch for when Dusty was coming in, and then once he blinked in, I was going to do this to decap. And then we would go and finish the fight. Now it's all gone Pete Tong. And I've literally just let them... Oh, no, they got the stomp anyway. I'm playing terribly. Guys, I just risked the lives of 4 of my allies for a nuke, okay? All right, it's really bad. I just let... Literally, my entire team could have died there. Oh, my God. It was so bad. So that I could neutralize that. Jesus. All I had to do was put a bit of pressure and rally them sooner. That was way, way, way unnecessarily risky. So here I just checked to see if I had Riddle stand up. Sometimes at the end of a fight, you won't have it up. And then I would have just thrown away a random mind rack to make sure I've got it for whatever my next engagement was going to be. Portals on mid. If you port mid, you get lots of, you know, it's a good point to anchor to. You can basically go anywhere you like. He's got 3 caps, so we've got a 2 cap established. There's a team fight in the middle. I'm watching for what I want. It's the Scourge, Prestige, Illusionary Ambush. Okay, so there we ate some... This is so weird. What's actually going on? I'm not really seeing anyone do any damage. So here I'm constantly watching. Right now my attention's split, and this can be very hard for people when they're new to Mesmer to do. But this is a defensive portal, not an aggressive portal. It's a defensive one. These are always much worse portals to sustain because I have to watch the second someone gets on that. If I don't port back, they will decap. If you aggressively portal, i.e. have a portal on a neutral node, you get loads more time to react. So this is always a bit annoying. But anyway, so here I'm just watching where they rotate. This guy is coming towards us, probably because he wants to be on stream. An intelligent player would have gone top middle. And then we would have ported to fight him there. So he would have been on stream anyway. Don't know what this guy's playing. He's got a great sword, and he didn't impress me earlier. So I'm guessing he's shit. Yeah, I think he is. There I did really badly with the Prestige, because Illusionary Ambush put me out of space. We ran the orb top middle. Oh, I was about to port back out, but I guess it ended. Sorry. So now I'm fighting a Mesmer who's actually pressured me really hard. So I'm going to leave. Like, there's no need to stay for the fight. So we just run away. And we let him get the res. It's not worth dying to get that stomp in a non-crucial location. In fact, I have a portal next to his body, so I could probably come and grab him right as he gets back up. We missed it, obviously, but hey. So yeah, I'm just rolling evade frames, interrupting over the body, pulling back out. Again, I didn't really play very well there, but at least you're seeing the build. And hopefully what this is demonstrating as well is how this is very good over bodies. This is very good when it comes to the down state, because it can cover so many of its animations with evade frames. You know, a lot of the criticism at sort of evade based damage at the moment is on Holo, but I don't think people actually understand what they're talking about when they talk about the Holo thing. Like, what's really tricky about the Holo thing is when 3 mines are already established and the next dodge roll insta-procs the old ones. Like, that should be changed. I don't think they should do damage in that way, and I think that there should be a bit more of a tell there. But if we're going to go down that line of criticism, this Mirage build is really, really, really not good. Because it accomplishes, like, it's sort of, in some ways, in the same league as, you know, like, a lot of people sneer at DD Thieves. And they're like, it's a no-skill build. And I mean, that's just obviously pressing skill 3 over and over and over again. And it's a build that can't make any plays and can't do anything anyway. So that's all fair. But you know, for the casual reason why most people whinge about it, that it can do damage while evading, you know, Mirage is that in spades. But, you know, this is where this is so much stronger than, say, Weaver, which Fresh Air Weaver... in a lot of ways, I would put in a similar sort of role, like sort of a very skirmishy role. Not sort of, I would say it's entirely that, actually. I don't know, I should have the confidence to say that. I didn't know what I wanted to vote on there, so whatever. Because I want to demonstrate different things to you guys on the stream, so. But the Weaver, once it gets someone down, it can't really do much. It can secure 1 Obsy Flesh Stomp. It can't do much. It can't interrupt en masse over bodies. There's a lot it can't do. While this build is more mobile and can do all of that stuff. Its sort of reasonable space that it can work with is much wider. What's my favorite profession? I don't know, man. I don't actually rate professions in Guild Wars 2. I only rate builds, really, because depending on the build you're playing, 2 professions might feel identical, and other professions might feel completely different. Like, I mean, it really, it comes down to the build. If you're asking for favorite profession, you have to do it based purely on flavor, I guess. In which case, I don't know, warrior maybe? I don't know. My answer will change every time I get asked that, basically. So this is the mysterious side door at Colosseum, which no one ever uses. Oh, Nosh, it's good to see you. Hello. Fancy to farm some potatoes again, another month of Prime. Oh, dude, very nice. I hope you're getting some good use out of just regular Prime too. That's awesome, man. Oh, I never mentioned. I did get a coffee grinder, by the way. Somebody recommended a coffee grinder to me. It's really slow. It's really slow. I'm not sure I like it much. I've had 2 cups since, and I'm not too happy with it. Dosty raging at his team when we called out a couple of specifically bad rotations of his. I'm only giving you a hard time, Dosty. It was a good game. All right, so again, I'm watching here. So this time they don't have any Scourges. Holo is not really something I like to jump. I don't really want the Guardian or the Druid, so we're looking at mirrors, and I don't like those Mirage mirrors, but we will see. So here I'm going to preserve this. I'm not going to be so aggressive on the start, because we have to actually establish who we can go for. So here, this Holo's pushing me, which is smart of him. Holo's extremely strong against Mirage if it's aggressive. So I'm playing, you might not see it here, but I'm playing very defensively. He's already wasted his heal turret, so this is great for us. It means we can pressure him hard, and he's got to run away. So this is good. He's not bombing our Scourge. Actually, I'll tell a lie. He should have gone for the Scourge instead of me. Because unless I'm a real div, he sort of can't, he can't easily kill me, because I can just stealth and run away. I'm actually going for the out of combat here, instead of the hill, which is there. And then we're going to repush before he gets all of his stuff back up. We already popped one of his S's, I think. If we're really unlucky, he'll still... Okay, no, that's fine. So here we're going to illusionary ambush. Cripple on the... I spammed shatters like such a fucking idiot there. So there was the blurred frenzy combo that I talked about from before. So now we're pulling away. And our Holo should finish him off fairly comfortably, I would say. securing us double cap. We're winning the engagement on far too. So now I'm concerned that I'm about to be jumped, because realistically they should have more players than this. And I know that they're mesmers. I know that they can hit me really hard, so that's what I'm scared of. Turns out my holo never killed the other one, by the way, and he just kited away. So here I'm watching for him to stealth so that I can dodge him. He's opening on staff, which is smart of him. Oh my god, why? Oh, I'm playing so badly. I don't like this. So this is a 2v1, by the way, so we're fine. We're happy. This is good. This is exactly what we wanted. As I said, we're a bully. We don't actually take real fights. We don't try. He's downstate. We don't have to worry about him. My holo, however, is low, so I need to come over and actually support him so that we get the double kill. That confusion will bleed him out. And then we can get that. This is also good. He tried to res, so essentially his respawn timer is way longer than it has to be now. So that's really nice. Now I'm looking to go back to mid to establish a portal and help whatever this engagement is. Also, the weapons are coming up soon, as the commentator just confirmed to you all. So yeah. Still aware that there is a second mesmer. I'm still not sure what their capabilities are. Just pressuring over this body. Search and rescue. Oh, sorry. It was the druid that went down. So this firebrand is now low enough that I'm pretty comfortable. We can just finish that off. I mean, we have map control. This isn't going to be a fun game. This is boring. I'm just going to get sword, which is going to spawn in a couple of seconds, and as always in the south. Now, you'll notice that we have a druid alone fighting 2 players over there. Now, we could get greedy and go plus that if we wanted, but there's really not too much need, because that's what he likes to do on that build. So we're giving up free cap in mid, which is a bit of a shame. But no, okay, good. He got on the node. That's fine. So here we're just watching for after all of the evade chains are done, and then we were going to jump the mesmer. But my friends killed him in time, and I didn't notice a guy crossing. So this guy's a soul beast. So soul beast, we should be fine fighting. All right. So we're going to distort early, knowing we're going to reflect all that stuff. All right. So he's also like a ham soul beast in that he's trying to go for a big initial burst, which means he's glass and he dies instantly. Also, I have the sword, so I don't even have an option of rotting him. He's a ranger anyway, so he'll get his pet res, and it's not ideal. But so yeah, we just kill him. These kinds of soul beasts have to play much smarter than he just did. Way smarter. And by smart, I mean stay at 1200 range at all times, basically. Probably could have held the portal there, but since everyone's forcing a huge push on far, I'm going to drop it here. I'm watching for crosses over there because that's their spawn. And when I go to far, I'm going to rotate around like this, because what that means is I can keep an eye on their respawning soul beast who I dunked a second ago and be cautious of him. Here I'm going to jump this guy. Okay, that was a beautiful elixir S. He might come at me really hard. That's his 2, which tells me he's not coming at me. He's going this way. And we can stay on him. I'm sort of in a 2v1 here. So if I want anything, I want an engagement on the roads like this. All right? I do not... Oh, my God, not that. I did not want to distort that. I do not want... We're going to dodge the prime light beam. I didn't want to take that mesmer there. And now I know I have a portal there. All right, he's going for that. That's fine. I should be okay. It's not ideal fighting holos, by the way. Holos are really deadly. Like, really deadly. Okay, I got a friend. That's good. So, we got hit by both of his 5s. I'm going to, once again, hope my friend can get the kill. He did. Good. Well done. We'll rot the body. If mid was being aggressed, if they were a better team, mid would be being pushed right now. And I would have ported, but it's not. So, my portal was a waste. Well, not really a waste, because... Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't take any use of it. Might have been smarter to have gone for a completely different play there and gone far and done that, so that now I could have held that newt. I would have been porting in it right around now. But it's fine. I'll just leave that like that. We'll take sword, and then we're going to endeavor to back cap. It depends what my druid wants to do. Looks like he was going for the shield. I'm here really early, but, I mean, it's a landslide win, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm red team. You can tell what team a streamer or yourself ever is, because the shading of the user interface under the names is tinted the color that you are. Yeah. So again, we got mesmer in mids. 2 are pushing far, it looks like, so they don't need that. So it is best to go for the mesmer. Not that mesmer. This mesmer. I missed my prestige again. It's fine though. So he's going to be pressuring me really hard here. So I'm going to dip out. Now, I am lucky because I get 20% more damage right now because of the sword. It's one of the reasons why Colosseum's so nice. This guy's so terrible. He's not doing anything. He left at least, so that's good. So here, as a Mirage, you can jump dodge really easily, by the way. So we'll be fine. Soul Beast is an excellent target, and my friend needs the help. So we're going to push him down now. He is getting support, and a Hollow just came in, so I'm being really careful now. We don't have to take this fight here. A supported Hollow... I mean, they've got a huge amount of damage on them right now, and they have support, so... Once my engine moves in, maybe I'll do something, but we have 3 caps, so we can play very passively. I guess I'll re-establish Portal and mid. I've not done anything remotely interesting or worthwhile with any Portal on any of these games, by the way, any of them. I think when I stream and try and talk about what I'm doing as I do it, I get a lot worse. So, good little play here. You'll recognize why these locations are strong. Here I got jumped, and I'm pulling out now. It's because I can't blink. Nobody can blink up to you on spots like that. The Mesmer is going to keep aggressing me, probably. I don't know what CC'd that guy off. I mean, I'm letting my friend die right now. I can't really do anything. I can maybe counter burst him now. He's in Elixir S again, though. All right, this is it here. He dodged right after it, which is pretty good. My guy stayed alive, so good job to him as well. Again, I just kind of had a great team there. I wouldn't say I was necessarily carried, but I really didn't do much. I would guess I did less than 20% of the team's damage. Yeah, I only did 17%. Like, they did way better. 20% is sort of the breakneck, right? There's 5 players. So, in theory, everyone... If you don't have a support, which I don't think we did that game. So, 5 players. Each of you should do about 20%. If you come out of a game and you've done less than 20, you can probably feel it. You can probably feel that all the big fights weren't really fights you were participating in. All we really did of much worth there was pull aggro away from people. And I guess get an easy kill on the Soul Beast, but... Not a good game, not an interesting game. Doesn't show off the strength of this build in any way. It just shows off what the build plays like. Yeah, this is Sword, Torch, and Staff. Sword, Torch, and Staff. We can do Fashion Wars too. Oh, no, we can't because it's a new account. We can, however, unlock our Deer finisher, which we now are. We're a Deer, guys. Pretty good. All right, you're going to have to try that. What's their main role? Well, this build is, as I say, skirmish is the word I like to describe it. +1s, little bit of node sustain, little bit of team fight support. Just rotate around like a cannonball and slam fights. Make plays at opportunities your allies are helping create for you. Trying to snipe again. Pray for my team being a dick. Well, sniping, you might end up on my team. This isn't like Hearthstone, where you get queued against me and we have to be against each other. You might drag us down, Dosty. Huh? And then I'll get banned for match manipulating. Live on a stream. You wonder if vampirism is a secret condition as my Mesmer in some maps with vampiric aura skill. I don't understand what you mean, dude. Necro has a trait called vampiric aura, I think it is. I think that's the name of it. But what that does is it means everyone around the Necro lifesteals on their attacks, which means, yes, you can score damage with lifesteal because of a Necro that was with you, but it's not like a secret condition. One of the most fun things to do in PvP, by the way, guys, is always just watch what skills killed who. It's always fascinating when you see, like, a really weird and rare thing was responsible for a kill. And it will also help you identify, like, what your moneymakers are, what your damage is. So, like, Mirage, right? I'm a Condi build. You see these mirrors, right? When I pick this up, it puts the cloak on me, yeah? So I'm now cloaked, and I can use my ambush or whatever. The other thing about them, though, is when you pick up the mirror, it splashes damage around it and weakens. And so here I'll go Kylo. I think Kylo's interesting on Mirage. It splashes damage around it and weakens. And on a power build, that might be a bit more relevant. But I've literally seen 1 kill. I've scored 1 kill. One, you know, the final hit on a target before it goes down state or defeat. I've scored 1 where it was me picking up the mirror next to them. The act of me picking up the mirror and it shattering killed them. It's kind of funny as well. I wonder if early designs for this was that this would inflict bleed around it. Because, I mean, it's a Condi spec. And it's shattered glass. You'd think it would have bleed, wouldn't you? Oh, you never snipe. Sorry, Dosty. I mean, I don't think the community's that dead that you'll snipe 100% of the time. You do see a lot of the faces over and over and over again, for sure. But that's more on an A, I think. Reaper doesn't exist. Reaper does exist. People play Reaper. I've seen quite a few Reapers. Might not be the best build, but again, it just depends how high you want to go. Unless you're trying to play like a healing pistol thief, I'm pretty sure the builds, most builds you can think of, do actually exist. What else we got? You really enjoy watching this PvP? I'm glad to hear you say that, Light Secret. I'm glad to hear you say that. That makes me very happy. You always feel iffy if you don't finish the player off, but instead leave them and assume they died, like any good supervillain does. I mean, yeah, I'm actually a bit of a dick. I quite often deliberately self-res just to go for the troll. Because it depends on the map state. If your team is in a winning position, and you've pulled a key target out of a mid-fight or something, and they refuse to stomp you, and let you self-res before hitting you again, and let you self-res, what you've essentially done is you're in a 1v1. It doesn't feel like a 1v1 or look like a 1v1, but it's essentially a 1v1. Okay, so bad rotation from me. I should have gone close. I've meant our Scourge had to go close instead of the mid-fight, which is kind of bad in a lot of ways. The one silver lining is they won't know who to open on, and he can come in and slam the mid-fight as we sustain it afterwards. I don't know what's going on far. I think he was scared I was going to jump him. They have a pretty sustaining mid-fight here. Oh my god. This could be really bad. I mean, it's partly my fault. The fact I'm getting this res is kind of ludicrous. Let's take this holo. What the hell? Oh my god. It was surging runes. I thought they procced after the beam, but that's fine. I will take full cap. This is a really weird... I very rarely give a damn to do this, but there it is. So we have to play really cautiously against this Mirage right now. We can't stealth either, otherwise he gets nuked. So here we're going to dodge the Prestige now. We didn't successfully dodge it. I really need an ally to come in. I don't like this. I'm down. Yeah. Well, I killed him, but the holo killed me after the Condi burst, and the Ellie died. Yeah. If I wasn't streaming, I would have actually looked at the players a bit better. But I think talking as I do this stuff, it really limits how many things I can do. I would have seen that he was low and dying, and I wouldn't have stood there. I very rarely would ever do that. Ever. Like, useless. Oh, I got a host on PvP from Peachy. Really? Did Peachy host? When? Oh, a second ago. Peachy, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. Hello, Peachy party people. They're not all Peachy parties, are they? They're only like Thursdays or one day of the week. So here I've got a downstate ally being rotted. If I stealth and run quick enough, I might be able to pick him up. If he's smart, he will have recognized that I'm coming, and he'll do that. So this guy trying to rot him, bad idea. Here you can see the strength of Mirage Mirror. I can evade any kind of churning earth, not churning earth, earthquake or whatever. Oh, I didn't want to do that. We don't need two people here. The Ellie's peeling out, so we can continue fighting him on the roads. That's fine. I was hoping for the fire down. So Ellie's are really sustaining, by the way. These Weaver builds, unless he's playing a bad variant, they're usually very sustaining. I don't know what killed my allies at the mid-fight a second ago. I've actually got no idea what killed them. Because from the builds I saw, I mean, what was it? Holo, I guess? So if we take Newt here, we'll be fine. Oh, he did that. That's really annoying. I wasn't actually going to leave. I was going to Chaos Storm on the node. I'll take the Newt. That's fine. I just saw an active portal here. Did one of my jaunts do nothing? But I'm only taking Neutralize. I'm just going to waste his time. I mean, he's scared of me, actually. The fact he's scared of me has just changed my mind. I want to fight him. So there you saw, it's quite rare to get that. The illusionary ambush, he was dead, which is why I was walking away. The illusionary ambush, the actual act of the skill itself, making my upkept clones attack him. That's quite rare to see a good play of that, so you actually got kind of a nice experience there. I'm playing bad. What? I would never do this normally. Obviously, he's capping that. This is fine. That guy came for a +1 that wasn't relevant. Because we've lost the mid-fight now, I have to take full cap here, which means I'm going to have to do another 1v1 on respawn, which I'm not comfortable with. I'm not confident in at all. And it means this portal's wasted, so I'm actually really unhappy with this. I was hoping my Rev would come here and we could have swapped or something, but... So the Mirage I just killed is obviously going to respawn and come here. There's two of them on respawn. This, again, is why... That full cap, me doing all that time for that full cap, what did that offer me? Nothing. I should have left it Newt. Like, even the timing of the portal. Now the portal's dissipated there, so I can't port back. So this is just all really gross. Now there's only one there because the hollow's rotated as well. I'm going to come protect the Scourge that's in mid. Actually, I'm going to fight this Rev. So that time we actually landed it. Rev's usually a very easy kill. Rev is not very strong right now, just to be clear, at all. So he's got his thing. Pretty frustrating there that he got his heal up, but we managed to spike him just after it. Mesmer's on me again. I'm not going to be able to finish that, but that's the Mesmer that was on close, right? So we know this. Oh, no, there's two, I guess. All right, never mind. My problem right now is I don't have the cooldowns. If he bursts me hard enough, I'm fucked. But all I'm trying to do here, I'm not even going for Newt. I'm just going for that. Why this guy is standing here when his allies have portals there, I don't know. But we can take advantage of that. Our thief, does he want the fight? Does he want? Okay, yeah, he wants the fight. Fine. Get the Newt. Okay, he avoided my biggest Condi burst there. All right, it's going to be a 2v2. And again, I don't like this 2v2. Our team's not really doing very well. I don't think we're losing anything, winning any of the engagements. There, the hollow came at me as well. If I can get a quick Newt here, this will be really sexy. Huge misplay from them. Again, our Rev's down on the roads. I don't know why. I don't know what he did. We can maybe get a res. Again, this, you're finally starting to see the mobility a little bit here, right? Keeping blind on him, just in case there's something really nasty coming. I'm in stealth right now, which I'm really relying on because I'm very scared of that Mesmer. Very, very, very scared. Now we have the portal, and we can stop him taking that. I actually thought it was a 1v1 going on over here. He's just shat himself and popped everything. Like, he popped everything. I've got a thief plussing, so this is a win. Especially after he just blew all of his shatters. That's still new. This is good. This, you literally just watched us swing this fight there. This match. Especially if we can get that res. We didn't get the res. Did the Mesmer rally? No. Okay, good. All right, it's a 2v1 against this hollow as well, who might go for a res with Elixir S and stuff, so we've got to watch that very carefully. We're going for Rupts. Okay, 25 confusion. You see that? It's beautiful. Here I use the illusionary ambush to proc and evade while kiting the Rev. The thief managed to get the Rev as well. We just won a 2v3, essentially. Not really, because it was staggered. But beautiful play from the thief there as well, keeping that Rev off of me. And again, did you see the mobility save my life from that Rev after I low awareness let the Rev jump on me like that? Did you see that? I don't know why he's trying to stomp. We can just score that as a kill. Respawns will be coming. I'm just taking the Newt here, porting, and then we're going to snowball them in mid. And at that point, we will have finally a secure 2-cap. And we can actually do some stuff. Now, the Rev seems to just be getting farmed this game, so I'm going to help him out now. I think this is the actual guy. I'm going to move into melee before I use the 5. He evaded. That's fine. Prestige, dodge as well, just in case he's exiting his. Distort was up. Blurred Frenzy. I just played into all of his defenses there, really. But this is what's frustrating about that build. It's fine. Okay, now we can port again and decap them again. This guy didn't notice because he's not watching. And even stronger, once we've decapped that, we can come back here and solidify the mid-fight, which this sort of essentially is right now. That Elixir S was really nice. I'm not watching. I'm not paying enough attention. So again, if you actually watch the fights I've been in the past little while, I mean, we had a good one on far, but most of these like little skirmishes on the roads and things, I've actually been playing crap. I've been missing all my key cooldowns. I've not been doing well, but I haven't died, and I've just been rotating around. Which is, you know, we are actually, if you watch the timeline now, sorry, here, look at this squeeze here. Look at us coming closer now. It's just because of these Newts and these plays we've been having. And we still have mid. Okay, here's an easy target. It's the Rev. Oh, he got a really hot block there. That was nice. I'm a bit concerned. He can probably kill me now if I'm not really careful. Which I haven't been careful enough. He's probably going to kill me. If I can distort and then blink up. As long as he doesn't have Shiro, I'm fine. So there you see the strength of Adventurer runes. He did have Shiro, but my Adventurer rune procced another thing for me. And now you'll see Illusionary Ambush here. We're going to Prestige jump straight back up to him. Oh my god, as he jumped away again. Sorry about all these blinks. I mean, this is sort of what this gameplay is going to be like, though. All right, he got his heal up again. This is bad. He can turn it on me unless my ally helps me. This is where I'd be raging at my ally right now. That's why there's a random ping there. I was trying to ping my ally. Did he push him? Okay, he got him killed. Okay, now their Mesmer's going to aggress that body. So we need to help. Oh, good. He anticipated that I was going to come for him, and then I managed to avoid him. Okay, that's fine. So we can just pressure that a little bit more. We blinked onto him as we executed the 5 there. So here we've got a full distort. You haven't seen one of these yet. So now I'm basically playing a mini game of walk into mirrors and use my 1. Which just is like infinite health, infinite invuln for me. Okay, but they've trip capped us. I don't know how this has happened. Everyone else has lost every single fight. I don't know what's going on. We can try mid. Okay, so that's a Weaver. That's really annoying. But again, because I have a portal, bad plays can become good plays. Because I can just drop the portal and walk off. Because I wouldn't ever fight a Weaver. Take too long. If I can kill them at all. So we're getting sides now, and I've got an easy bait into mids. I think my rev should be fine on that fight, so we'll come for the +1 on this one. These double rev experiences, they're quite... This is a good game, by the way. Oh, I'm missing all my stuff. I need to take full cap. We can't let them... There we go. He didn't quite finish the node. I should have shattered there, but it was... I only had distort. So this Mesmer seems really scared of me. I don't know why he's so scared of me. He should aggress me a lot harder. So here I'm blurred frenzying. I'm just watching. I don't know what he did there. Again, we're going to dodge now. Okay, now is the time for the mid fight. My guy can finish him off. We need to help them push that Weaver down. It's now a neutral node, so I'm happy to take this fight here. So the guy that was in the 1v1 with the Weaver just went through the portal. The Weaver doesn't realize, so he's given me full cap. Too late, mate. It's over now. So now I can stay here until my Necro comes in and aggresses him. No, I can't because I'm 2v1. So that was all a bit stupid and weird. But it's fine. We're still actually winning this. For this moment. I don't know. It was a weird experience. My guy got on. Okay, we burst. That's fine. I don't know what Weaver build that is. I actually think he's kind of bad. So we just won a 2v2. And this is good. So, and it was full cap. So now we get the 3 cap. I don't know what's going on here. Someone is being farmed or making plays that I'm just not witnessing here. So it's a big push on far. This guy should have bailed out. He didn't. Their entire team literally is there. So this is where we enforce the mid. And we try to win the mid fight. We don't instantly get burst down. But they're dying on the roads and stuff. I'm going to go really cheeky here. Oh, you fucking... Oh, he's low. All right, that's fine then. We still turn that into something for us because he dies. And we can rot him because he's off node, which is really nice. I just watched him. He tried to use his skill 2, which we evaded, so we're all right with that. I'm going to put 1 clone up to slowly rot him. That's fine. The rot on the body, though, is actually really nice too. Now I'm going to port here. Again, I don't like this because I have to defensively port, but we're going to have a 1v1 with a rev on that node later. If I can get a res in the meantime in mid to help sustain this battle, it'll be really nice. So here's a distort to cover 1. We're going to spam the others to get evades. Okay, we did get 1 up. We're watching that node because a respawning player is about to come in. We got a kill with... While we were resing there, our shatters got a kill. So that's good. I don't think... Yeah, the rev is coming in now. So now our allies can come with us. It's not a rev. It's a Mesmer. That's fine. This is pretty bad, though. I'm going to get burst really hard. The rev is here. They're both here. I need someone to sustain this with me. Nobody's coming, so I'm porting back out and sustaining the mid fight with a 2v1 here. Do you see how I'm just a pussy and I never actually take any like, outnumbered fights or anything? I'll just make sure that I'm the one outnumbering so I don't have to play well. There I played terribly anyway and got myself bursted by a thingy. And I got my stealth removed. So here, if you're watching, they're defensively porting, but I bet they're too bad to actually catch it. Oh, no, he's all right. He's all right. That's fine, though. That's fine. So all I have to do is just hold a fight here, and I've kept him out of mid, so that's okay. He thinks I'm running away because I stealthed, by the way. I sneakied him there. And that secures the win, basically. He can't, or he shouldn't be able to kill me. I am very low on endurance. But there, this ambush, that movement there, that's from that trait I was talking about. Protection wouldn't have afforded me that. I could have just been bursted super hard there. But again, so, like, you don't actually have to fight well. You just move well. That's all you've got to do. And this is why this build is so mobile. This is what's so good about this Mesmer. And we get a ton of chests. And, yeah. That's a skirmisher. I think that was a really fun game, actually, because that was close, and then in the end it became a good win. See, to me, I see people use Portal well. I take Portal and it just sits on my bar. Yeah, it takes a few games, but it's such a powerful tool. It's too strong. It's actually too strong. This needs like another... I mean, any Mesmer main would like loathe me ever saying this, but it needs like another 20-second cooldown on it or something. Because a good Portal play, you're not actually... Like, the number of things you can do with this, like saving downstate elementalists that vapor through them, and when your team recognizes the use of portals, when you've got people who are good enough to like recognize they can go through the portal and push like these really aggressive snowball plays, it's insane. Most of the time they sort of don't though. New to stream, is this my main? Not really. On my main account, I guess technically Ellie would still be my main, but I don't really play it much anymore. I play a little bit of Fresh Air, Ellie. I mean, the thing is, for the average player base, for the average skill of Portal, I think... I mean, one of the main... I don't know. Like I said, it's a whole discussion all on its own, just on Portal and Portal balance. And I love Portal, and I think it's great for the game. I really do. I think it's really awesome. And obviously, it's super satisfying to use. But I think it's... For Conquest, it's leagues above any other utility you could possibly imagine in Guild Wars 2. Or maybe it should be retooled or something. I don't know. Loving the extra streams? I'm glad you are, Malfunction. I'm glad you are. We're still only rank 16. What is this? We're not going to be able to do any placements or anything because it actually takes a while to get to ranked, apparently. So I guess this account still isn't going to get there. I don't know. All right, well, so there you go, guys. I think that will be it for the bonus PvP stream today. I think that sort of relaxed me since the competition judging. Keep an eye out because big stuff and good stuff will be coming your way from WP soon. Sorry if this feels a bit abrupt ending, but I guess I just sort of decided quite abruptly that I figured that would be it. But there you go, guys. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed. Don't be scared to check out some of the other PvP streamers and stuff that might be on the scene. I think Jebro just went live, so I'll move all the Peaches and all the others over to that, since obviously it's nice to keep the ball rolling. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Thanks for modding today, Rav, if you had to do anything. And any messages, just feel free to throw them over to me. I'll do a bit more on the judging stuff and probably end my night with some Stellaris or something. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks. Have a good one.